several love letters, but she never responded. Her rejection is the basis of my horrifically toxic views on romance!
King K. Rool is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and this is the Kongversation. So of course we're gonna be chatting about that. I'm Hyle Russell, and with me this episode once again from his corner of YouTube, Mr. Josh Wallen from off of the Geek Critique. Josh, hi, how you doing?
Hello, thank you for having me back on again. Could not have possibly hoped for a more wonderful episode and a better topic of discussion to be on the Kongversation. This is one of the big ones right here.
You weren't planning on being on the show tonight, Josh, and quite honestly, I wasn't even sure if there was going to be a show tonight. So I've basically been in a holding pattern, waiting to see what the direct would bring forth, you know, and. I have to be honest, I had certain expectations. Simon Belmont getting leaked earlier this morning, and I don't even know what exactly happened. They accidentally uploaded the wrong track and they had to retitle it or something.
Yeah. Briefly on the Super Smash Bros. Website, apparently, I never saw this, but it was showing the incorrect music track if you middle clicked it or something. So...
Okay, well,
but people recognized the music track and they knew that was from the Castlevania song.
Okay. So yeah, that basically gave it away, and then people were saying, well, there was this leak, this E3 leak that talked about Ridley and Simon Belmont and this and that and the other. And so obviously this is confirmed now. This is our new Sal Romano, everybody. Dish out that macaroni, boys, because we're back in the kitchen. That's a deep cut for all of you who have been listening to Super Smash Brothers discussion since the 4 days on the Kongversation. But, so walking into it was just okay. And then the old 1-2 punch, the old, oh, yeah, you knew this was coming. You know, they might have leaked it on purpose, for all we know. They might have just, they might have just done this little bit of chicanery, Josh. They might have indulged themselves in this because they knew they had this other thing, this other big reveal, waiting in the wings.
That's right, man. Dark Samus as an Echo Fighter.
Samus, man.
I know that there's been a lot of speculation about this. I know that people have been really hoping that this would happen, and it's been confirmed. It's been confirmed now. Dark Samus is an Echo Fighter for original flavor Samus. The Metroid series finally has its, fourth representative? It's about time. Long overdue.
Yeah, well, technically, I consider Zero Samus basically just a vestigial tail of regular Samus, so I would only count it as the third fighter, but I guess that's they're the same character. I don't count Mario and Dr. Mario as separate characters. I don't count Zelda and Sheik. Well, I guess it depends which Zelda and which Sheik. That gets kind of convoluted now. But anyway,
what about Chrom and Ike then? We're getting pretty late in, release is only a couple of months away at this point. About 4. I was worried, were we going to get more Fire Emblem representation or not? And it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we are.
You know what, Josh, I have to be honest, I can't even be snarky about Fire Emblem. At this point,
neither can I, actually.
It's amazing what just getting something up your fandom alley will do for your general mood and your general outlook. And look, I've been pretty zen about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I've been advocating for this game since playing it at E3, so it's not like I'm this needy little fussy man baby. I'm a little bit like that, but it's not like I was going to be just outright dismissive of this if we did not get K. Rool or any other Donkey Kong Universe characters. So, I was watching a direct. I was not getting upset. I was like, okay, Chrom, whatever. Okay, cool. Okay, Dark Samus, whatever, cool. Oh, these new modes look cool. These new features. Wow, they're really letting you customize how you play the game, and they're letting you scale it back if you did not like the style of Super Smash Bros. 4. Okay, great, great.
Yeah, that's so good too.
This all sounds good. Oh, look, we have a Claptrap assist trophy. Well, golf clap for that. Claptraps have always been in this series essentially since Melee. So,
I started like jumping up and down and like, oh, a claptrap! I was really hyped about it.
I don't know. Like, I did that when they showed the critter in Smash Run for Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 3DS, but at this point, it's just like, okay, claptrap. It's always the same thing.
No, I know, but I think the thing is like the Donkey Kong Country series has such a wide range of like different characters that you could pull from for assist trophies. Like, I've always thought it would be really awesome, and we're getting this into like speculation territory here, but there's like Pokeballs, there's assist trophies. What if there were animal crates? Like, I always thought that would be really, really, really cool.
That's always been one of my stickling points, that you could do so much with the animal crates, but honestly, the time to do that would have been the N64 game, to establish that. I really think that once you got deeper into the aughts, that became more of a remnant of the past rather than something that Smash keeps vital, which, now, I've talked about this time and again on this show and on DK Vine. Super Smash Brothers, beyond being a very popular fighting game series, beyond being something it seems like the entire Nintendo console generation sort of revolves around, Super Smash Bros. Also has the distinction of being, as I call it, the Kingmaker. The Kingmaker, which seems apropos with with the character that got announced today, but the Kingmaker, Super Smash Bros. Has enormous sway now on all of the properties that appear in it, but specifically Nintendo properties. So, when a character appears in Super Smash Bros., or when a concept appears in Super Smash Bros., that is pretty much set in stone for life, for eternity, regardless of the whims or the desires or the biases of a development team. So, for example, Donkey Kong 64, it has a lot of cute ideas. Gameplay-wise, it's a huge steaming pile. But
my God.
but Diddy Kong had his peanut pop guns in that. Smash Brothers utilizes that. Bam! Diddy's always gonna have peanut pop guns. Diddy has his jetpack in Super Smash Brothers. Bazinga! Yeah, Bazinga, that's right. I'm that guy from the Bang Theory. Bazorga. Haha, the laugh track. So, Diddy has his backpack. Jetpack backpack. That suddenly becomes a staple of the mainline Donkey Kong Country series. So, Smash Brothers basically sets the tone for these concepts because Super Smash Bros. Reaches fans of every franchise that appears within it and fans of Super Smash Bros. The franchise itself. So, when you say, oh, you wanted animal crates, I feel like the only time that would have worked would have been 1999, when the Donkey Kong Country series was still very much, not as much with the N64, but still very much in the cultural conversation. And then as we get further away into the GameCube era, the post-buyout era of Rare, animal buddies appear far and far less frequently.
Because sadly, nobody played Bongo Blast. Barrel Blast, not Bongo Blast.
See, you don't even know what it's called.
It was gonna be called Bongo Blast. But no, you're right, dude.
It was gonna be called Donkey Kong Jet. Actually, it was called that in Europe. But anyway, so my point being, especially with Super Smash Bros. 4, it felt like you only had two options of getting into the game. Well, three options. Let's go with three options. One, you're a favorite of Sakurai. Okay. Two, you are the hot new thing that Nintendo wants to promote. Or three, you're very, very retro from the Nintendo Entertainment System era, and they want to slot you in because that's the area of retro nostalgia that Nintendo always likes playing in, but doesn't like going too far into the 16-bit or 64-bit era. Okay.
R4, you are Cloud Strife.
Yes, right. Well, that's Sakurai. That's I include that in his whims and wants and desires. So,
but no, aside from all that, like, let's not bury the lead here. The first thing you said was K. Rool is in Smash Brothers.
Yes,
and that is really like what this does, and it makes it like it's very like on the nose, and I like that because it should be. What this does is establishes that we can have the Tiki Tak tribe. We can have the Snowmads. It's not like but Donkey Kong's true antagonist, his main rival is K. Rool and the Kremlings, and this trailer makes absolutely no bones about that.
Yes, it's the equivalent of Batman and the Joker not facing off for a decade. It's inconceivable. It would be like, all right, well, you know what, the Joker is played out, which he is, but let's have Batman fight, I don't know, Penguin, and I don't know, Mr. Freeze for like a decade. It's weird, and it demoralizing, and then you get all these conspiracies about Nintendo hates the Kremlins, and you get all of this kind of pent-up angst, and also misinformation about why the Kremlins aren't being used. And you start wondering, am I ever going to really see it again? And then it feels like we have a bifurcated Donkey Kong Country franchise, where you've got the classic games that most people of a certain age became fans of Donkey Kong because of those classic games. And then you've got new Donkey Kong Country, which is still great, which still has amazing gameplay, amazing music, and a lot of just innovative stylistic design choices. But you can't help but think, well, this is new Donkey Kong Country. The Kremlins aren't in this. The Animal Buddies aren't in this. And you try to bury it. You try to bury it deep in the recesses of your mind, but you start pitting them against each other in your head, and you start almost resenting a little bit the new Donkey Kong Country, because when they announced that park in Universal Studios with a huge Donkey Kong Island section, you're excited, but you know it's gonna have Tiki Goons and not any Kremlins or Naughties or any of the shit that brought you to the dance. So,
yeah, and it's a valid worry, like, because and Donkey Kong fandom has never and will never be nearly like this. But that sort of bifurcation, or really bifurcation is underselling it. It's more like the fandom has been cut in 6 or 7 different ways for the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom, which has the exact same sort of problems, where the games have been through so many eras and have been so many different things that. And each of those things made fans of it, and as a result, like, people are just incredibly split as to what the series should really be, or what really counts. Right.
And as co-founder and editor of DK Vine, which, I mean, I'm not. There's a lot of great Donkey Kong fan communities and fan sites out there, but DK Vine, just because we've been around so painfully long, we are considered the kind of forebearers of Donkey Kong Country online fandom, and so I feel like I have a responsibility to kind of soothe that burn a little bit, because I love the retro games, and as I get older, I don't want to have a little man baby hissy fit because things aren't exactly lining up to how I would like. And I do like the Tiki Tak tribe. I do love the Snowmads, but my favorite video game villain is K. Rool. I love the Kremlins. I think I know I've brought this up again and again on the show, but this feels like a victory lap for a lot of the things we've been discussing on the Kongversation since the very beginning. So you'll have to forgive me if I have some callbacks every now and then. One of the reasons the Kremlins, I have show notes, and we're just completely blowing past the show notes. We're just giddy men right now. We are giddy men with, like, body hair, like actual men, talking about cartoon crocodiles in a very, very exuberant way. And I'm not ashamed of that, Josh. I'm loving this. I am living my best life right now. So
no, exactly. I mean, what you said earlier about, Smash Brothers being the kingmaker, the reason that the fact that it, establishes so firmly and so, decisively that, Mario, it shows at the very beginning, Mario has Bowser, Samus has Ridley, Link has Ganon, and now here's Donkey Kong, and here's K. Rool.
Right.
And the reason that's such a big deal is because, like you said, Smash Bros. One of the most astute observations that you've made in general about the video game industry and Nintendo fandom in particular is your description of Smash Brothers as the kingmaker, because people who have never played a Donkey Kong Country game and don't otherwise care about the series, they'll play Smash Brothers. And that's
exactly
why it is what it is, because they're going to see that, they're going to know, hopefully, for one thing, this is going to clear up that widespread, that incredibly, suspiciously widespread, belief that Microsoft and Rare somehow still retain any ownership whatsoever over the Kremlings.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of that would torpedo that is if, everything goes our way, everything breaks our way, and say Banjo-Kazooie got in it. And then people would say, oh, so they Rare let Banjo and K. Rool in Smash Brothers. Oh, okay.
Oh, see, we should have known.
Or I don't know, if Minecraft Steve or something, just something like that, I could see then people saying, well, see, they don't own the Kremlin, but for now, for this blissful moment, let's just focus on the here and now and not possibilities.
But, on the one hand, I always think it's so ridiculous how often I see that. I've seen plenty of that today, even oh wow, I guess Rare didn't mind playing ball with Nintendo for this one. But on the other hand, the fact that despite how easy it is to disprove, that misconception is so widespread just kind of points to how long the Kremlings have been gone.
Yeah, I mean, they were around in the GameCube era quite frequently, but let's be honest with ourselves. There is a difference between the Kremlings appearing in the Payon Donkey Kong games or the Strikers series or the Mario Baseball series versus Smash Brothers. This is the big deal. This is a bigger deal than Mario Kart. Smash Brothers is, it's the kingmaker. I can't find any terms to describe it better than the kingmaker, so let's just let it lay. But as I was saying before we went on that tangent, one of the reasons the Kremlings just resonate so much with me, because I think there is something primal about this notion, this pitting primates, apes, monkeys against reptiles, crocodilian figures. There is something mythic about that. Throughout history, you see it time and again. Hell, we have a new King Kong versus Godzilla movie coming out next year. So they are the perfect antagonists. And you hear people say, well, the Kremlings weren't even originally meant for a Donkey Kong game. Rare had them designed for Battletoads, which isn't actually true. They had the designs, but they weren't actually necessarily planned for Battletoads. I think they were inspired by Battletoads, but I didn't know that, actually. I thought that at least the original conception for them did come directly from Battletoads or from honestly,
something else Rare was working on.
It depends on who you ask. I think there's some faulty memory going on at Rare, but as of late, that's the version I've heard, that no, they were not planned for any Battletoads game, because what Battletoads game would they have been planned for? They weren't making any...
Well, also, even if they were, even if the Kremlings were this idea that Rare had on the table beforehand, so what? Did you guys not ever watch Pokemon the first movie? The origins of your life don't determine who you are or how much value you have. It's what you do with life that matters. And
well, it's also people just not realizing how the creative process works. And I see this so much, not just with this, but any sort of notion that you didn't have it all planned out from the start. You are making it up as you went along. That's how the creative process works. You can have an outline, but when something really comes together, you're pulling ideas from all over. And yeah, the Kremlings may have been designed for something else initially when they were being created. Guess what? They worked perfectly for Donkey Kong. So anyway, all
now,
this...
to be fair, I always like to acknowledge this. Yeah, like obviously, I think the Kremlings are like, and K. Rool in particular are the definitive Donkey Kong bad guys. But also, like that was the antagonist of the series when I was a kid, and when I played the only games that I could have played when I was still a kid. So like, of course, I'm gonna look at them a little differently.
Right. But
there is no such thing as an unbiased perspective on this stuff.
No, and I'm sure
okay.
there are kids who grew up with Donkey Kong Country Returns who think the Tiki Tak tribe are it. I mean, but
they just have really flat heads. What more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for? But I think the reason the Kremlings just click with people beyond any Joseph Campbell and Campbell, heroes, myth, arc, whatever, journey bullshit is that the Kremlings are just brimming with personality. They can be scary, they can be funny, they're adaptable. And you saw that with the Snowmads. You saw Retro basically try to reverse engineer what made the Kremlings so appealing with the Snowmads. And let's just go back to the well source here. Let's go back to the reason we're all a fan of Donkey Kong villains, and that's K. Rool. So, Josh, what I want to do is I want to talk about the direct, the trailer, and then we're going to get into some of the nitty gritty before we take the over 20 calls.
Oh my god.
I know. So
no, it's warranted. It is. I'm not upset about it. I'm just kind of like, holy shit, that's a lot of people.
I know. I was sweating it because I was out. I had to do some errands today, and I noticed my phone was just going off the hook, and it was the hotline. And because I have alerts on my phone whenever people call the hotline, and I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. But I knew it was going to happen. I mean, the tweet I made about K. Rool has over 500 likes right now, over 100 retweets. Yeah, I mean, it's staggering how much this is striking a chord with people and how much people know it's a big deal for Donkey Kong fandom. But
no, dude, basically, this is the most momentous day in like Donkey Kong fandom in particular. I mean, you can make an argument about the DKU in general, but for Donkey Kong fandom in particular, this is the biggest thing that's happened. I mean, since the announcement of Tropical Freeze, and maybe before that.
It eclipses Tropical Freeze. It's honestly
okay.
There hasn't been a day like this since Donkey Kong Country Returns was announced. Tropical Freeze was still a very big deal, but Tropical Freeze also came only a few years after Returns. And the biggest news of that was Dixie and David Wise were back because we got that 1-2 punch that day. But I think it now being over 7 years since Tropical Freeze was announced, that can't be right.
Since Returns was announced.
No. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm thinking it's 2020. Why am I thinking it's 2020? Since it's been over 5 years.
You want to get this presidency over with. I know what you're doing.
5 years since Tropical Freeze was announced, since that E3. And Donkey Kong has been in more of a drought since then. Obviously, we've been getting good stuff, especially this year. Remember when I said at the beginning of this season, Josh, that Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch was just the first phase of a multifaceted plan to bring Donkey Kong back to prominence?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Here we go with another notch on that bedpost? Why am I making it sexual? So anyway,
why would you not is the question.
Why would I not? We're all aroused mightily today. So why not? Let's just embrace our sexuality and our weird erotic attachment to this nonsense. So anyway,
I mean, we're getting a K. Rool amiibo. There are certain applications I can think of there.
We'll save that for a how-to video later on. when we launch our RedTube account. So anyway,
understood.
Yeah, I have to admit, like, going into this, once I got on this morning and saw Simon Belmont was trending on Twitter, and I did a little digging and found out why, or just got the gist of it, I was just like, all right, let's just get this over with because I'm exhausted. And it wasn't like disappointment. It was just more, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm glad Simon Belmont's there. I was glad Simon Belmont was there because I've been saying for years now, Simon Belmont deserves to be in Smash. More so than Snake, more so than Cloud. Simon Belmont does have an historical importance to Nintendo. He was in the Captain N cartoon. Granted, they portrayed him as some sort of creepy Lothario, but, I mean, Simon Belmont's right up there with Mega Man, you know? So
no, I was kind of in the same boat, actually. I mean, when I heard, I heard last night, or I guess this morning, sometime between those two times, that the leak had happened. And, the thing with Castlevania for me is that I get the feeling that if I would, like, really dive into the series the way I did with Metroid a few years ago, I would probably find a lot to love about it. I just haven't done that yet,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know that Simon Belmont and the Castlevania is a much, much loved series, and I'm really excited. And actually, like, when the Direct started, it started with the trailer and the reveal of Simon Belmont, and I was like, you know what? That looks really, really fun. Like, man, they really did so much to, like, capture exactly who that character and what that gameplay style is supposed to be. So, hearing about it, I was like, oh, cool. But seeing it, I was like, okay, I want to try this now.
Yeah, that was a brilliant trailer. I have to admit, when I thought there wasn't going to be anything to discuss from a DK Vine perspective beyond a few breadcrumbs, I was taking screenshots during the Direct of that trailer so I could do some snarky, I mentioned this on Twitter already, but I could do some snarky tweets or Facebook posts about, oh, look, Cooper from off of Grab by the Ghoulies is in Smash Brothers. Oh, well, he's grown up. He's a badass now. Mummies and shit. But this was a great trailer. This was... Why are all of these characters in these trailers, these beloved Nintendo icons, getting murdered? Like, out and out slain by these newcomers.
It does seem like quite a trend quite a trend is being established here. Like Smash 4 similarly had extremely like high production values cinematic trailers, but they didn't quite get so violent.
This is
I'm not
brutal.
complaining; it's great, but
the whole
it's kind of surprising.
The whole premise of putting Luigi from off of Luigi's Mansion in a Castlevania castle. I mean, that's the shit you want to see.
Perfect.
That is just inspired. That is what makes Smash Brothers fundamentally so appealing for people like me who don't really care so much about gameplay. Granted, I have a certain preferred style of Smash, Melee, and now Ultimate that I prefer, but really, I mean, at the heart of it, Smash Brothers is the dream of seeing these worlds and these characters collide in interesting and fun ways. It's basically fan porn, and there's nothing wrong with that because, I mean, that's what made the original Super Smash Brothers for the N64 such a mind-blowing fuck. It was crazy to have a game where Donkey Kong could fight Link. Now it seems like whatever, but back then, that was a huge deal. And so now it seems like we have to keep upping the ante to get our kicks. It's like a drug addict. You have to keep increasing the dosage to get that same high. So
yeah, but isn't it crazy? Like, to think about, like, in 1999 playing Super Smash Bros. 64 and thinking that, like, like 19 years from now, this is going to be so much bigger than it is now. This is going to be so much more comprehensive than it is now. And it's going to include freaking Sonic the Hedgehog, for one.
Yeah. It's... I kind of hate...
That's something... Go ahead, sorry.
No, I kind of hate how big it got, because the original Super Smash Bros. Wasn't... It was a throwaway title in so many ways. And the fact that now, basically, Nintendo is at the beck and call of it. I mean, it's interesting. I hate it, but at the same time, I'm impressed by it. And I have to just kind of almost applaud how it's just taken over. Because the original Super Smash Bros., for perspective, it was not even the cover feature of that month's Nintendo Power when it was released in the West.
And weirdly, what I was about to say about it was kind of just the opposite, is that I kind of love that about it, that it came from such, like it was originally in development in secret. You know, that where people like Sakurai didn't think that Nintendo would possibly approve of this game where, you know, Mario can uppercut Samus, or where their beloved franchises would be like engaged in a fighting game. So he wanted to make it as good as he possibly could before he even pitched it.
I like how he tried to soften that blow by having to be figures that come to life. Oh, they're not really the characters, and now they've just forgotten about that. They're like, yeah, they're the characters.
But the fact that from that it became this cornerstone of an entire like Nintendo generation and the whole console cycle, and became the kingmaker, like that is something that's really cool about it to me. But that being said, I don't think I've been on an episode of the Kongversation talking about a Smash Brothers game in general yet.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is, like, I think, not to toot my own horn too much here, but I think I'm a good sort of counterpart to you when it comes to this. I think that I bring, like, a very different perspective from the one you bring to it. Because I've gone on record before. Look, I'm not saying that all the as you know, the character porn that you described are the way that brings all these universes together. Of course that's appealing. Of course that's a huge part of the appeal. But I've gone on record before saying that, like, even if Super Smash Bros. Was a game full of original characters, I would still play it because I enjoy it that much.
Right. Yeah, and that is a completely acceptable opinion. Look, Smash Brothers, when it came out, there was no other fighting game like it, and it was amazing to be able to pick up a game like that. Somebody who, like I said, I played Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat when they were just the biggest things in gaming a couple years before Donkey Kong Country, but I was never good at them, really. It was just too convoluted for me to wrap my head around. I think there's this mechanical nature to traditional fighting games, and it's
combo.
Yeah, it's almost like STEM versus like the arts, like what you're gonna study. I'm more of an arts guy, so I can't wrap my head around button combos and the complex equations to pull off these uppercuts and fireballs, and it's just beyond me. So to have a game that was so simple, fluid, and fun, like the only equivalent to that I can think of were the N64 WCW games.
Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison.
Yeah, where it was intuitive. It just, you didn't even have to think about it. You just knew how to play it. That's the way Smash Brothers, when it's done right, is, and that's the way Ultimate was when I played it at E3.
But I think another big part of the appeal, the widespread appeal for it, is that, like, in a traditional fighting game, if a person is, they don't even have to be like a master of the game or anything, but if they're just a certain degree better than you, you're not even going to be able to freaking do anything, you know? Mm-hmm. You're not going to make a move. You're not going to, like, they're just going to stun lock you and combo you to death, and like, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers is a game where even if you're not winning, and even if there is quite a substantial skill gap, like, you're still going to get hits in, and you're still going to feel like you can accomplish something, and you're still going to have fun playing it.
Yeah,
like,
and
right before we got on and started recording this, my girlfriend and I watched the direct this morning, and she was like, she said, like, maybe I actually want to give this Smash Brothers thing a shot. So when she got off work, we fired up Smash for Wii U, and we literally sat there playing it for probably like 2.5 to 3 hours, and stopped only because I had to come do this. And she'd never really gotten into the series at all before.
Yeah, it's. I don't know, like what I like about Super Smash Brothers 2 is that there is the competitive scene, which it's not my thing, but there are
it was never my thing either.
Yeah, but there's so many ways to play it, especially now that they're actually giving you the option to customize it down to like the last detail. So I like that there could be different communities, different subsets of Smash fandom. You even saw it at E3. They had the competitive line, you had the for fun line. I love that. I love that because I feel like now they're backing away from just catering to the competitive scene, which I really felt like a lot of Smash 4 attempted to do. Whether successfully or not is an entirely different debate. But I feel like now they're really encompassing Smash fandom in the totality rather than just the hardcore of the hardcore. And, other fighting games, you don't really have that, again, difference. You don't have those shades of different ways to play it. You're either good or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and nothing wrong with that. I mean, I like traditional fighting games too.
Right.
But there's nothing else out there like Smash Brothers.
No. Absolutely not. So Josh, anyway, we got through the Simon Belmont reveal. Luigi died. He was a ghost. Hilariously dark. I loved it. I thought, okay, this is great. These trailers are fan-fucking-tastic. I would love to see a character that I'm invested in done in this style, because this is essentially like just the cream of the crop as far as Nintendo produced cinema, so I never thought I would get it literally 30 minutes later. Like the thought didn't even cross my mind. I was like, well, we still have several months before the game comes out. I'm sure they're gonna probably hit one a month, and I was feeling pretty optimistic. We're gonna get somebody. So I'm not that worried about it. I was like looking at the time, and I was like, I have stuff I need to do. DK Vine, we're getting ready to roll out a new site design. Busy time for us behind the scenes. We've been a little quiet as of late. We're just trying to get everything ready to roll out. DK Vine 2018, whatever you want to call it. So, I had a full day, so I was like, well, I want to get this over with. Oh, this looks cool. But honestly, I was starting to tune out a little bit just because I was like, I can catch up with most of this later. Like, this is really cool. Oh, Claptrap, awesome. I think there's Crystal again. Sure, why not? Oh,
yeah, whereas, of course, I was like, Sakurai said, first, let's take a look at the menu. And I'm like, fuck yeah, show me the menu, Sakurai, come on. I was like, hell yeah. The moon from off of Majora's Mask is an assist trophy. How freaking scary is that?
That isn't even the most apocalyptic thing we saw in this Smash, which I think it might be the final Smash of the character we're doing this episode about. But look, if it wasn't so freaking early, if they had done evening Smash Direct, that would have been one thing, but the whole 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific, like, I got up at 5 a.m. to work on DK Vine stuff. I was already, just drained for the day, and I had already put in almost a full day's work just before it even started, so I was tired. But I liked everything I saw, and it was, and of course it gets a little braggy at a certain point. Oh, we have this many songs. Oh, we have this many stages. It's cool. It's cool. We got the N64 Congo Jungle stage back,
sure.
Which sure, whatever. It's going to be that. It's going to be Jungle Japes, and it's going to be Congo Falls, what's now called Congo Falls. So 3 Donkey Kong stages. I think if you're going to mine from the series, those are the 3 you'd want. I'm curious if we're going to get the return stage from 4. That would be shocking if we did not get that, but...
That'd be really nice. That was a really cool stage.
It was cool. A little bit too busy for my taste, like all Smash 4 stages. Just too busy, but... Yeah, I would love to see
it didn't have a boss character flying around attacking you, so...
I assume we're getting the arcade stage back. I can't recall if I've even seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. You would think that would be there. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, yeah, so it wrapped up, and Sakurai said something about, we'll see, maybe more character reveals down the road or whatever. So I was like, okay, it's over. But, I don't know why I didn't just think there's going to be something at the end, because there's always something at the end.
There always is. And because the screen was shaking. Like, even as Sakurai was saying his, farewells,
Oh, that's right! So here's the problem I have, Josh. Usually I'm very observant. I'm usually very attentive towards detail. But when something seismic like this happens, when you have such an out-of-body experience and time stands still and you leave your body like Luigi in the Castlevania castle, when that happens, it's so hard to really soak in the detail. It was hard for me when Donkey Kong Country Returns was announced. I was seeing shit that wasn't there. I thought the Fragoons were Kremlings. That's how, out of it I was. Just shell-shocked. Shellacked.
This cannot be real.
Yeah, so...
I gotcha.
It took me a while. I had to rewatch this trailer, the Rool trailer, probably 5 times before I really could come to terms with it. Another problem is, you imagine this... We've been imagining this for 5 years, 4 years maybe, what a Rool reveal trailer would be like. We built up so many scenarios in our head. We've fantasized, we've fetishized, we've written long fan fiction about it. We've dreamt about it. Long showers have been taken, probing delicate regions, thinking about it, and so when it actually happens, and it actually hews so closely to what you imagined, the breakdown between reality and fiction becomes so severe that you're not sure if you can trust your own senses. And that's exactly what happened to me. I wasn't even excited at first because I was in a state of disbelief. I thought maybe I had suffered a stroke or I was in cardiac arrest. Some people report seeing a bright light. I thought maybe I was just seeing a Rool Smash reveal trailer, and that would be what takes me into the next world. But no, Josh, it was actually happening. It was beaming across the YouTubes, and I was watching it, and it was real, and holy fucking shit, it's still weird to see. It's still weird to talk about. I'm not entirely sure that this is actually happening right now, but I'm going to just go with it and hope it is. And if I wake up in a few hours drenched in sweat and other bodily fluids, well then so be it. At least it was a hell of a night.
Strangely, I think that my reaction was relatively similar, because when something really exciting and awesome happens, you're gonna jump up, you're gonna start oh hell yeah, finally! But when something that's on a whole nother level that you didn't even expect could happen is happening, you're just like, wait, what really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you serious? And that's exactly what it was like for me too.
Yeah, I'm reading our live stream chat comments right now, and yeah, we're getting a lot of the same thing. Cameron Regal says, my brain hasn't accepted yet. I'm looking at that picture in the window to the left, talking about the Kongversation artwork with Rool on it, and he's saying he's trying to register it as a thing that actually exists. So, yeah, I mean, that's just...
Because, yeah, like you said, I don't think that people were really looking for it too much with Brawl because we got Diddy Kong there. But since Smash 4 was announced, like, this is something that people have hoped for and, like, wanted and that seemed very possible even with Smash 4. So
I have more to report on that at the end of the episode.
okay.
So, but yeah, so
Teaser.
I wasn't actually processing Sakurai shaking. I just thought, oh, there's a horrendous earthquake in Japan. Hope the guy's okay. I don't even know what I was thinking. But then the Smash the new trailer opening intro with the little dink. It's not the big flaming cross, but it's just the dink. Which threw me again because I forgot that was the style now. They did it with the Ridley reveal. And so I wasn't thinking this was a reveal. I thought maybe they would be saying, you know, oh, and something about the GameCube controller. Oh, we're gonna actually make enough this time to go around, or something. You know, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting.
No, I knew 100% it was going to be a character reveal. Like,
okay.
I feel bad almost that when the shaking started, I didn't immediately think of what they were going for, which was if you listen, you can hear it coming.
You think that was it?
Yeah, I mean, that just makes a little too much sense, I think.
Well, K. Rool's never really been associated with shaking Tyrannosaurus Rex footprints with the Jell-O on the spoon. Like that's never really been a thing, at least for me, that comes to mind when I think K. Rool from off of Donkey Kong. So I think, you know, if K. Rool had been, or if Sakurai had been knocked over by a cannonball or something, I would have been like, holy shit. Or if he had been shot with mist from a blunderbuss, I would have been like, what? Or, you know, whatever. But the shaking, I didn't know what they could have been going for something from like Monster Hunter again. They could have been going for lots of things. I don't really know.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that it was that might have just thrown you off even more.
Yeah. So anyway, the dink of the new Smash Cross came up, and so what? By the way, did you watch this live?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I set an alarm to go off at like 9:55, and whereas you woke up, I mean, you know, you were still pretty sleepy at the time. I woke up and I was like, "Here we fucking go! It's Smash Brothers time!"
So for you, it was like a kid at Christmas. I felt like kid at Christmas when I was trying to get to sleep the night before. But once I actually drifted off, then my alarm went off at 5, and I did not want to get up. I was fucking pissed at that alarm. And then I became crotchety old man Hyle, where I was like, I don't give a shit if Santa came. We can open presents at noon, god damn it. But anyway, so... And I still didn't process because I didn't know it was a character reveal trailer. Again, because my brain didn't remember the new style of the Smash Cross. And 2... it wasn't the super gorgeous, like, rendered scene like the Castlevania castle. It was footage, style, almost still images, but a little bit of animation, but super stylized.
Complete with a CRT filter.
Yes. So maybe I was like, oh, CRT mode in Smash. Whoop-a-doo. But I'm not processing what characters are appearing on the screen either. This is something I did not even realize until after the fact. And I think it was in the DK Mind Inner Circle that Cameron brought it up, or somebody, but probably Cameron. And that's when I put it together. But again, I'm half asleep. I just want the Smash thing to be over with so I can get back to it. And I'm not processing that these are playable heroes facing off against their playable primary antagonist, Mario and Bowser.
Exactly. And that's what I was alluding to earlier in the episode when I said that this makes no bones about who K. Rool is in relation to Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Mario and Bowser. Here, I'm just gonna play the trailer through to get my memory jogged because again, out of body experiences and what have you. So Mario Bowser, Link, Zelda, Ganondorf. Actually, it's Kirby and Meta Knight and not DDD, but I guess they wanted to hold off on DDD there. And then it was Fox and Falco versus Wolf, which Wolf isn't really the primary antagonist of Star Fox. It's Andross, obviously, but I understand. I get it. And
sure,
honestly,
sure.
there hasn't been a lot of villains in Smash anyway, so you gotta pad out the concept. So sure, whatever. And then
I was
of course,
so excited. I didn't even put that together until just now when you pointed it out.
What's that?
And that Andross is the primary antagonist of Star Fox and not Wolf.
Yeah.
Like I've been so hyped to watch that trailer, even though I've watched it like at least 10 times at this point. But I've never been like, actually Andross. Like, no, that's just not where my head's been today.
Well, no, because Wolf is more of the Boba Fett of Star Fox. He's an antagonist, but sometimes he can be an ally if the circumstances are right. He's basically his own man, but he's got a code of honor and ethics too. So anyway, and then of course Samus fighting Ridley, which should have tipped me off. Like that should have been like the thing that's like they're gonna reveal a new villain. But I'm not thinking in these terms right now until the TV goes off, and then you get a yawning bestial mouth with the most luscious tongue I think I've ever seen in a Nintendo game. So I know we go on and on about Donkey Kong's perfectly sculpted buttocks and the weird fixation game artists and designers have on it, and mostly rare, let's be honest. But and of course Donkey Kong's toothy grin, which by the way is in this mouth shot, is not just a row of giant squares, white squares like chiclet gum pieces. No, they're actually slightly yellowed and of different sizes. Like you can even like make out his canines. Fantastic! I don't care about Donkey Kong's teeth. If Donkey Kong's
you
teeth,
have clearly watched the trailer in more meticulous detail than I have.
You can even see the back of his throat. Like, I've never had this shot of Donkey Kong before. We need to make neon avatars of Donkey Kong's tonsils. I feel like it's time. Or whatever the dangly bit is called. I always forget what the dangly bit is called. What's the dangly bit called, Josh?
The tonsils, Hyle. That's
No. The tonsils are behind that. Help me out in the live stream chat. What's the dangly bit called? You know what I'm talking about. We'll let them ruminate on that.
Use hashtag what's the dangly bit called on Twitter now.
Hashtag what's the dangly bit about? I want your feedback, people. So at this point, I'm thinking that looks a lot like Donkey Kong's mouth, because I'm a man who knows Donkey Kong's mouth, Josh. I've studied it. I've lived it. I've imagined myself as it. You have to really get inside these characters when you do what I do. So I recognize Donkey Kong's mouth, but at this point, I'm not buying it. I'm thinking this is going to be some sort of Pokemon. This is going to be some sort of weird, obscure character. Obscure for me, a character everybody else knows.
It turns out that Lickitung is joining Smash Brothers.
Maybe some sort of like indie game that's super popular right now that I know nothing about because I'm in my weird DK Vine bubble and I don't know about this shit. Maybe it has
something to do with Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah. I'm thinking maybe it's a thing from off of Fortnite. Maybe Gorilla Mouth McGeorge is a character in Fortnite. Everybody knows about Gorilla Mouth McGeorge, but old Hyle Russell, like how Hyle didn't know that minecarts were big in Minecraft for the longest time, and I was just thinking, minecarts, Donkey Kong, and people are like, Minecraft, and I'm like, what? And so yeah, it could be Fortnite, could be the mouth of Fortnite. So okay, so he by the way, I'm going into very meticulous detail here, but then
Indeed.
The camera pans to the right, dramatic reveal of Diddy Kong on a tire swing and Donkey Kong and his luscious buttocks sprawled out on the floor. He had just turned off the TV, which, by the way, I have to appreciate Donkey Kong's analog TV with the rabbit ears. That's very much keeping in with the notion that Kong's a pilfer technology that's crashed in lost mangroves, and they don't necessarily have access to the most high tech of devices. But Donkey Kong's Treehouse, or at least some version of it. It doesn't really look like any version of Donkey Kong's Treehouse we've ever seen. It's evocative of quite a few, but I don't really know what this one would be. My heart, I want to say it's the original DKC Treehouse, but he
has a picture, a photograph of Cranky in his youth on the wall. I noticed that.
Yeah, which I can see that. It honestly looks most like the Donkey Kong 64 Watchtower, so I would buy that interpretation.
All right, so when it was revealed that that this was that Donkey Kong was there, Diddy Kong was there, that this was like, how did your brain then rationalize? No, this still can't possibly be what it looks like.
Josh, my brain shut down. Like, this is the point where my soul left out of my body. And, like Patrick Swayze from off of Ghost that wandered the town, had to find Whoopi Goldberg to communicate with the world again, and rediscovered Demi Moore along the way. Got really romantic. We made a lot of clay pots, but eventually I found my way back. No, I didn't believe what I was seeing, because I'm not watching Smash Directs anymore anticipating necessarily Donkey Kong anything besides a few breadcrumbs here or there. Like, yeah, I go into this hoping, it'd be awesome if we could see K. Rool, but part of my maturing process, Josh, was not necessarily hinging everything on these outlandish hopes and desires, and therefore derailing not only my day, but my attitude and mood towards the game pre-release. Smash 4 had such a toxic release cycle for me, for the community. I didn't want to go down that route, especially now that 2018, we have so much more going on for us than just Smash. Rare, full on in the Rare Renaissance, Sea of Thieves, Donkey Kong on this multifaceted rollout campaign of rebuilding its importance and vitality to Nintendo. So, it was like, Smash, whatever, sure, I'm bully for it. I'm going to enjoy it and support it, but I'm also not going to let it dictate how I, Hyle Russell, feel about anything. So, that being said, I'm not fully processing that I'm seeing Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong in this gorgeously rendered style that I just want to bite into it. I'm not processing that whatsoever, and
it's because, like, as soon as your optic nerve picks that up, your subconsciousness makes the connection that there's only one realistic reason that this would be happening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like at first, like, probably somewhere in the synapses of my brain that were firing at full speeds, I was thinking, Dixie, Kate Cranky, like they're in there vaguely dancing around, but of course, looming large is of K. Rool, right? So, okay, so... There's kind of like a ringing in my ears too. I distinctly remember like the ringing in my ears. When you get bad news and time stands still and you hear this buzzing, and it's almost like people with hearing damage or people in proximity of a loud explosion report hearing. But you get this sometimes when amazingly good things happen, and I think the only way to describe this to people would be is if you're a gamer and something that you're super into gets announced. That is the only, I think, sensation I have ever felt where it's almost like you're going into shock, but it's a good shock. I can't recall. Like, I'm sure if you're super into, say, Star Wars and they announce something there, like, the Clone Wars are coming back, then people super into Star Wars will feel that sensation. But for me, the only thing I could feel this about would be the Donkey Kong universe. So
no, I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah, for me personally, gaming is the only thing that's given me that sort of a like you said, it's like going into shock, but a good kind.
But a good shock, right? And I think the only other thing that comes close to my fandom here is the Beatles, but. Paul McCartney has a new album out in September. I'm fucking pumped about that. I'm super psyched. When I heard he had a new album out, I was like, finally! Yay, Paul! But I'm not I'm not like convulsing on the floor with drool coming out of my mouth. It's just like, oh yeah.
This would be like time travel has been invented and you get to see them play in like the 60s.
No, it'd be like if Paul McCartney knocked on my front door and said, "Ooh, my car broke down. Ooh, can I come in? Ooh, can I stay for the night? Ooh, I see you like Donkey Kong. Oh, I've gotten into that myself." And you know,
I am the wrong person to be with you if we're going to make Beatles references.
And then we played Donkey Konga 2 together, and he helps me beat it. And he was like, "Oh, you know, I played drums back in the USSR. You know, Ringo was out. He quit the band temporarily. I can't even do my poll because I'm so excited about Rool." So that was bad. I can normally do a better poll than that. I apologize again. Super pumped. Too much adrenaline going through my veins right now. Okay, so.
We're about 10 seconds into the trailer now.
23 seconds, Josh.
23, okay.
Don't shit talk me. So, Donkey Kong throws a banana peel, which he throws, it was like in front of his crotch, so I'm assuming he was fucking it. But, which...
You just throw that out there as if, well, that's really the only thing you could possibly...
Go back and look! Go back and look how it looks like. It looks like he just had a wank in it. That's the way it looks. Just
maybe,
rewatch it,
people. There's that new item where, like, it's a banana. It looks like a regular banana, but it's actually a gun that fires one time. Maybe that's what you're firing out of it.
Yeah. No. It's out of context completely, but it looks like Donkey Kong just used a banana peel as a fleshlight, and Diddy is trying to look away. Like like Diddy Kong, like Donkey Kong doesn't realize Diddy's in a room, and Diddy's trying to keep it cool, but he's like mortified. Temporarily, that's what it looks like, but...
I mean, Donkey Kong has taken down his picture of Candy and replaced it with Cranky. I mean, something bad's going on here. It's not a happy time for Donkey Kong in relationship land, I don't think.
Yeah, Candy's run off with Funky, finally. It's finally happened.
I mean, after his appearance in Tropical Freeze on the Switch, I mean, I can't say I blame her.
I know, I told my wife, look, I'll have to be honest with you, Michelle. Funky's looking mighty good to me right now. We worked it out. We went to marriage counseling. I realized it's okay to be sexually attracted to Funky Kong, but also realize that is not where my heart lies. So,
we've just employed the use of a Funky Kong mask, and then that's
Exactly, yeah. So, but what would the safe word be?
Probably, dude.
Yeah, I was trying to think what's like an iconic Funky Kong line, but I don't know. He doesn't really have any, right? Like most of Funky Kong is just invented from our fevered brains. Oh, he likes to get high and whatever, and he wants to get with Candy Kong. So, no, Donkey Kong was eating a banana. That's what really happened. And he threw the banana. Just so we're clear. That's what really happened. So he threw the banana peel behind him, and he scratches his butt. That does happen on camera. He scratches his ass. So so I didn't really get this implication until I think it was Cameron that pointed it out in the inner circle. Donkey Kong turned off the TV out of apathy towards all of these other villains being in Smash Brothers. Donkey Kong here is the stand-in for the anguished Donkey Kong Country fandom circa, let's say, 2008 to 2014 when watching Smash Brothers news.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Cameron was like, I didn't notice that part of it until then either. Like, to be honest, when I first watched the trailer, it didn't even like click with me that the CRT filter at the beginning, what was going on at the start, the idea that it was Donkey Kong was watching all this on his television in the first place. I was too, like you said, mind blown to really like put anything like that together.
Right. It felt like different elements, but not of the same trailer, because once Donkey and Diddy showed up, it was like everything reset in your brain.
Exactly, because you're like, okay, like I said, there's one realistic reason why this would be happening.
Yes. Well, again, somewhere in the recesses of my brain, I was thinking Dixie or Cranky, but then the ground shook. Donkey and Diddy like jump up. The TV jumps. The stand it's on jumps. The portrait of young Cranky goes askew. So at this point, I'm like, no, no, it can't be. 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 And I think at this point, I was allowing myself to believe it, and I was like audibly making noises. Luckily, I was the only person in the house right now. And luckily, my wife took the dog to work. She works at the animal shelter that she got the dog at. So, she takes her to work sometimes. And so luckily, the dog wasn't in the house to hear me make all sorts of anguish noises, because she would have been really concerned. So, and not anguish noises, but to an animal, it would have sounded like I was in some sort of pain or distress. So Donkey and Diddy, which, by the way, Diddy blinks in this with eyelids. Eyelids, Josh, not his anime-style pupils changing shape, but he's got eyelids. This is a return of eyelids to Diddy Kong. It's a big deal.
Is it like a prosthetic eyelid? How does that work?
He's always had the eyelids, okay? Just like he probably has blue eyes under certain lighting. Some things we just roll with, all right? The fingers we can't get past, but we roll with the eyelids. And anyway, so they rush to the window because they're like, oh shit, what's happening? Well, there's another ground shake, and they're like, oh shit. And Diddy's looking concerned. He's hanging on the tire swing. But then they rush to the window, and it's like horror movie framing. Like every trailer so far for Smash Ultimate, it has this horror movie element to it where the characters are met with some sort of just existential dread. So they go to the windows and they're like peering out the windows like, what the fuck is happening out there?
And you know, you're right. Like even the original reveal trailer with the Squid Kids had that.
A little bit, yeah. So anyway, a shadow falls upon the treehouse, and outside there is a very, very familiar silhouette of what appears to be King K. Rool, crown and all, Josh. Now, I want to bring this up. This is something I realized shortly before we recorded. This is almost a twofer reference right here. So not only can this be taken as a reference to Returns with the sunset silhouette that was made so famous, one of the most defining images of the new era of Donkey Kong Country are the silhouette stages, but it's specifically the sunset silhouette. But it's also a reference to K. Rool, as we all first saw him, or most of us first saw him, as a silhouette in the Donkey Kong Country instruction booklet.
Yeah, you know, I hadn't picked up on either one of those. So yeah, that's really cool.
Maybe that's reaching, but given the amount of references they work into K. Rool the fighter, I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to believe it. So
I will say, I think that the sunset silhouette reference, yeah, that's they know what they're doing there. Maybe not the instruction manual thing, but either way, it's really, really cool.
Yeah. So turns out, nope, it's a Vince Russo style swerve, Josh. It's actually King Dedede wearing a K. Rool costume. Oh. And at this point, I did shout out, Sakurai! Like, I wasn't upset because I knew, like, they wouldn't have had fucking K. Rool if K. Rool wasn't, like, they wouldn't have gone to this level if this was just a troll job. But
what's really great about that is that Dedede himself is the personification of Sakurai.
Yeah, people have been bringing that up too, that this was almost Sakurai inserting himself to troll K. Rool fans. But, because honest, doesn't he also voice Dedede?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, okay. So, of course, I'm also a little deflated just because there is the possibility now that it was just a K. Rool costume, and then maybe Dixie's gonna show up to, like, fight Dedede or something. And I would still love to see Dixie in the game, but, or Cranky, given we had the young, arcade Donkey Kong picture, you know, that could have been foreshadowing. You know, you could have had another character, a Kong, come in here to fight off Dedede. It would have been a heinous troll job by Sakurai, but I would have to applaud the aplomb, if you would. But, no, that then well, I love that DDD2 is he's very true to himself in the Kirby series and possibly the Kirby anime, where just even his style of animation, it's different. He's jumping around and he's doing the tears of laughter, and it's
and
very
he's so well animated. He's so like the animators did a great job perfectly capturing exactly what that was supposed to be.
Yeah,
like both in universe of DDD just like getting one over on the Kongs and laughing about it, and of course in the meta sense of what this was to the fans.
Well, I love how tonally different DDD was to the Donkey Kong series and the Donkey Kong series as it's being portrayed in this trailer. Because again, it feels like this element, this outside element intruding upon the Congo jungle. And it's great. It's great. But the reason this swerve, and I love that you're on this episode so I can just say the word swerve without feeling bad about myself.
Nobody's gonna believe it, bro.
Bro!
We're gonna shock them all, bro!
Bro, it's all about the ratings. I was brought in to improve the ratings, bro. So you know what? If I put the title on David Arquette, bro, no, you know what? It got us in USA Today, bro.
We start every conversation by asking ourselves, is it logical, bro? Does it make sense? And David Arquette winning the title makes sense. I'm losing my Brooklyn accent the more I do it.
I couldn't do Paul McCartney earlier, so I don't begrudge this. If we put David Arquette in a K. Rool costume, people are gonna mark out, bro. So, and we're losing.
Doing this for us.
We're losing like 80% of the audience, right? 90% of the audience right now. They don't know what we're talking about. Now it's like how you felt when Chad and I would go on a tangent.
Exactly.
So anyway, the reason, Josh, there is so much historical weight to this light fake out, because we like I said, we knew this wasn't a true fake out, but the reason this landed so much was there is so much history and illusions baked into this, and I almost don't know where to start. Obviously, the K. Rool me costume, having a K. Rool costume in this trailer is such a great, like, almost self-deprecating wink and a nod to that in the Wii U game and the 3DS game. But also, there has been, in the last decade of K. Rool's absence, there has been rumor after rumor and fan speculation about K. Rool wearing somebody else's visage, somebody else's costume, throwing it off to reveal himself. When Donkey Kong Country Returns was announced, there was fake fan art that was tried to pass off as real of K. Rool disguised as the leader of the Tiki Tak tribe, and he pulls off the mask and he reveals it's himself. Lord Frederick, most of us thought, not most of us, but most of us entertained the possibility that Lord Frederick was actually K. Rool in a walrus costume.
Yeah, and I mean, I even brought up in my video on Tropical Freeze that I thought it should have been. I thought that would have been neat.
Yeah. So, that being said, like, there's so much history in the fandom baked into this that the more I think about it, the more I have to think. This is the one element of the trailer I did not see coming, and I never even dreamt about. And this really helps put it over the top as not just exactly what I wanted, but exceeding everything I could have wanted out of this. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it.
And it's impressive because, like, I wouldn't have really expected or known that, like, the developers of Smash Brothers would have even, like, been aware. Because it lands, like, so perfectly for, like, what K. Rool, like, for sort of the fandoms, or at least the English-speaking fandoms, like, experience with K. Rool over the past 10 years has been, particularly in regards to Smash 4. So, like, I just wouldn't have really expected them to be that aware of it, that they could get it on the nose that well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this about the Smash team, not just Sakurai, because obviously this is a team effort here. When they actually set out to do a franchise justice, they do it justice, and the Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong intro in the Subspace Emissary was, for the longest time, the gold standard of how the Kongs were portrayed post-Rare. It was spot on. It wasn't even full of fan service. They were fighting Bowser's forces in that, but Bowser's forces were sealing the Banana Horde, and Donkey and Diddy leapt into action. And the way they were portrayed was so starkly different from, say, how Donkey Kong was portrayed in Jungle Beat, that it was just this cathartic moment as a fan where you just, yes, you've nailed it. You understand it. You get it like I do. We understand Donkey Kong. You and I, man. So, I mean, that, I always think back to that, and this was that and then some. This was that on some super great steroids, on some premium banana juice. So, alright, anyway, then the real K. Rool sneaks up behind DDD, silhouetted, but less so, and he fucking murders DDD. Like, okay, it's not as explicit as what happened to, say, Luigi, or even what Ridley did to that merry band of mascots in the E3 reveal, but
DDD never comes back.
DDD, well, not only does DDD never come back, this is like at least a kill shot wound in anything else. K. Rool takes his claws, 4 claws, by the way, 4 fingers, Josh, 4 fingers on K. Rool.
As the prophecy foretold.
Well, no, I mean, they didn't give him prosthetic fingers. So,
oh no, I know.
I mean, this is huge. This is, K. Rool has his correct number of digits. So I guess they thought, well, he's a bad guy, so it's okay. I guess. I don't know. But
yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's just because he's not like human enough.
Maybe he's not primate.
I don't know.
I know when Rare made Diddy Kong Racing DS, they even gave Crunch 5 fingers. So I don't know. But, so they have, prosthetic golfing fingers in reptile form. So, K. Rool could get them should he want to improve his long game on the course. But, I guess he has no time to go golfing because he's been prepping for this for a decade. So anyway, he takes his claws, he swipes DDD on the back, and there's no blood, but I think you just mentally project the blood into this because it's so fucking hardcore. And so the dissonance between DDD, this cute little penguin dude, and K. Rool, this scary looking crocodile. K. Rool looks vicious. Like, he's still very much K. Rool. He's still got that level of whimsy, but they've really tapped into the unhinged aspect of him, the crazy man. And that really comes through in the way he moves and the way he fights. He is very much an animal. Animalistic, but also he has that level of refinement. So, DDD goes flying, and then K. Rool, he does this, like, remember in Jurassic Park, speaking of Jurassic Park, when the Velociraptor snorted on the glass of the door, and it, like, left that condensation?
I'm vaguely familiar with that, yeah.
Yeah, well, K. Rool snorts out of his nostril, and you get the same, same effect almost. Well, we get the King K. Rool comes aboard, the title of this episode. We get the reveal, the now iconic Smash newcomer tagline. And to see it with K. Rool, and to see it confirmed, and to see it real, made manifest. Oh my god. And they reference him as a pirate. He comes aboard. They reference...
So is that the moment that it became like a little... That your brain woke up a little bit and you started processing this to a degree?
Yeah, I was basically shouting at this, but this is the point where sound was fully coming out of my mouth in a cognizant way that wasn't just guttural noises or me cursing Sakurai's name. This was like the exuberance was finally allowed to be released, and
that's really like cool for me to hear as somebody who is a big fan of Super Smash Brothers in general. Just because I remember, you know, like a couple of years ago when Smash 4 came out, like you were there for a little while. You were so like done with it. You were so like I remember you even saying things like oh, I mean, even if K. Rool did get in, that'd be cool, but it wouldn't really make an impact on me. But
okay, so that was after Smash 4 came out, and
yeah,
I realized I didn't really enjoy playing it. A couple of different things here. I've played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I've seen the improvements. I was on board with this before I even knew about this.
You lucky son of a bitch.
So, I feel like, thankfully, I played it at E3. Thankfully, I could play it at E3. I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity. So, I can now have the intellectual position where I'm not a total hypocrite, where I was like, you know, I like this. This is good. This is Smash the way it's supposed to be. So, honestly, Josh, it means more. I never thought I would say this a few years ago. It means more to me now to have K. Rool in this iteration of Smash than it ever would have to have him in Super Smash Bros. 4. I am glad things worked out the way they did, because if K. Rool was in my least favorite iteration of Smash, if that was his entry point, then it would have meant less than it does right now. And
sure.
It's I remember, because at the time we thought Smash 4 was it. We thought that was probably Sakurai's last Smash game, and it wouldn't matter as much if K. Rool was in the 5th game, because it would be a new auteur behind it, or it'd be an assembly line product, and so there would always be that distinction, that potential distinction between real Smash Brothers and after Smash.
Post Sakurai. Yeah.
After Smash, which I was making a MASH reference for, I think Alistair Craig might be the only listener who got that one. But that didn't turn out to be the case. Sakurai has at least one last game in him, the ultimate version of Smash Brothers. It fixes the issues I had with 4. I mean, Josh, this couldn't have worked out better, and I only wish I could go back in time and tell my slightly younger self, it's gonna be okay, dude. Just give it a few years.
And that's okay. Like, I'm not saying that that's really cool to hear you say that. Like, I'm not saying, it's nice that you've come around and now you understand. Like, it's more that, like, I don't know, I kind of get the whole feeling of, like, Smash 4, like, the way that you guys reacted to it, and the way that a lot of people on TK Vine took away from it, like, you know, that was, like, sad for me to see, because, you know, I mean, everybody has their own preferences, and that's fine, right. But this was a game that I was, you know, playing the hell out of and having a really good time with, and, I mean, to a certain extent, of course, like, listening to, like, your first impressions episodes about it, like, you know, it was cool to hear, like, just a completely different perspective on it. But, like, it's cool for me to think that, like, here in, like, 4 months, that we're going to be able to get on there, like, get on the online mode and actually have a good time together with it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and I think the online mode is going to also be better than it was in 4, even. I think it's going to be... I don't know.
Here's hoping, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so... At this point, it's real. The remix of the Gangplank Galleon music kicks in. Like basically the stuff we've been fantasizing about for years. Like when I said I imagined most of this trailer sans the DDD part, I meant it. Like different permutations throughout, you know, my head. Sometimes he attacked on the Gangplank Galleon. Sometimes he attacked Donkey and Diddy in the jungle. But I mean, oh my God, it happened. It's real. Like this is out of my head. And what was great is after the Super Smash Brothers like title with the newcomer tagline, that it goes straight from that to K. Rool unfreezes and he like does a menacing pose towards the window of the treehouse. Donkey and Diddy do their eyeball bugging out from the original games, from the original trilogy.
I didn't, again, I didn't even put that together as, like, that's a reference to the animation from DKC 2.
DKC and DKC 2. Because in DKC 1, whenever you took Donkey on the edge of a ledge, he would do it.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Yeah. So, anyway, their eyes literally penetrate the window, the glass pane, and shatter it. It's bug fucking insane and ludicrous, but it's just the right level of comic mischief for Donkey Kong. Like, it walks up to the line, apropos again that it walks up to the ledge where Donkey Kong's eyes would bulge out like this, but it's consistent with what we've seen before, made a little bit sillier the fact that it actually interacts with the environment in such a profound way, but there's a big leap from this to Moon Punch. So I'll take this.
I love that beat too, just because, like, from an in-universe perspective, if the Kongs haven't seen K. Rool in like 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
It would be like if it would be like if Osama bin Laden showed back up. like let's say 5 years from now, Osama shows back up, and it's just like, what? Now, granted, they didn't think K. Rool is dead. The last they knew, they played baseball against him, so little bit different. I guess Osama bin Laden never showed up in Major League Baseball or minor league baseball.
It's not a perfect analogy.
It's not a perfect analogy, no. But okay, it would be like if Osama bin Laden was never killed by SEAL Team 6
and was a crocodile.
Man, right? So it would be like if he just like disappeared and we hadn't heard from him for a decade, and people just assumed, well, he's dead. Yeah, I'm sure he died. He's been on the run for so long. We haven't heard from him. He hasn't released a video. He probably died. He had like kidney issues, right?
He's probably actually owned by Microsoft now. That's probably the issue.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor too. Yeah. So and then he just shows back up, and people are like, what? So yeah, and that's just such a great. And then K. Rool does the Velociraptor snort. And the camera is like right beneath his nostrils, and he's like looking down, and it's so cool that his cape is textured. Josh, you can see the fabric on his red cape. He's got a big ass jewel, which I think is the only true holdover really from the Paon era. The size of the jewel. I think it was smaller during the Rare era, or am I mixing? Let me just look up a fucking render of K. Rool. Like I said, I'm all over the map right now, and my memory. I can't trust my memory. My most valuable asset is suddenly not there for me. So yeah, in the original games, he had a small green jewel. Starting post buyout, when Paon redesigned him, he got the big blue gem. That has retained, but he is much closer to the Rare model than anything. He's even got his tail back. They shrunk it a little bit, but he's got a tail.
So the thing that this has kind of been percolating in my mind for a little bit. The thing that's really crazy, like you were talking earlier about how the way that he's animated and the way that they so perfectly captured like how menacing and unhinged he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
What I think is really significant about that, a while back I was on the Conversation talking about like Sonic Mania and how that game captured like the series through the eyes of fandom in a way that you would think that only like fandom, only people who grew up loving this series could. I feel like with the way that K. Rool is portrayed here, because sometimes you'll hear detractors or people who aren't such big fans of the Donkey Kong Country series say things like, "Oh, yeah, he's just like some lame Bowser ripoff. He's just us. Hasn't been relevant in 20 years. He's just some goofy crocodile." The way that he's portrayed here, like I think that if the team had come to you personally and said, okay, how should K. Rool be portrayed? I don't think it would have been any different. And it's really remarkable, especially given, like I said, the sort of like this idea, and given like the differences in the way that, you know, the Japanese development team may view the Donkey Kong Country series, that they were able to get it so pitch perfect.
Yes, and that's what just makes it so satisfying. Not only is this K. Rool's first appearance in a decade, but it's just everything we could have wanted. There's no compromises to be had. There's no mental gymnastics or things you're just gonna have to overlook because, hey, at least we got him back. This is everything we wanted. And
like, at his most menacing, this is K. Rool as you would like look at him as like in your childhood. Menacing
and crazy. And I just want to talk about his design a little bit more before we jump into the move set. So he's got the golden belly back, the armor plating on his belly, and he uses it too. We'll talk about that. But you know, there's always been this debate. Well, is it actually his belly or is it armor? No, it's armor. He took it off during the Payon years. It's back on now. His crown is it's a little bit like his Payon crown. It's not quite, doesn't have as many points on it as the Rare era, but everything else about it just screams Rare. He's got the tail back, which, by the way, I guess Kremlings can regrow their tails. K. Rool lost his, and he's growing it back. That's why it's slightly smaller, because it still hasn't grown back all the way. But he can grow.
Of course.
Yeah. This is K. Rool at his scaliest. We have never seen K. Rool this scaly and very crocodilian. I love this design. He looks so freaking cool like this. And I really want to see more Kremlings back now in this style of scaling. We've had furry shenanigans since Donkey Kong Country 2. We've never had scaly shenanigans. This is the first time I've seen scales on a video game character and thought, damn, that's impressive. So, yes, more please. Yas King, as they say, as the kids say. They don't say that. They say Yas Queen, but this is
the first I'm hearing about this.
Well, Josh, you have to watch Queer Eye with me because they say it all the time on that, and it's actually a great show, and I love it, kind of. So, they taught me the French tuck, which is where you tuck in your shirt, but only in the front. You let it hang out in the back. I can't quite get the hang of it because I've lost so much weight in the past year that none of my pants properly fit me. So when I try to French tuck, the whole shirt just falls out.
Now, my parents in the 90s told me that was wrong.
Well, your parents aren't fabulous men who know style and fashion. No offense. So,
none taken.
All right. So, K. Rool. Yeah, he looks like a boss character and a boss in life. And the moveset, Josh. The moveset. In-game moveset. They reference everything! They reference literally every rare appearance of K. Rool. Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong motherfucking Land. Donkey Kong Country 2. Donkey Kong Country 3. Donkey Kong 64. Yes. The only things that I haven't seen explicitly referenced in the moves are Payon, but I don't really know how you would do that. Unless he would grow to giant size or something with the crystal banana or something.
He manifests a pegboard.
Yes. And to be fair, it's a good thing K. Rool does not peg you in the game. He does metaphorically. He pegs lots of characters in his trailer, but no peg boards. So, I'm sorry, Josh. I realize you're a guest on this show. You've got your whole entertainment enterprise. That's far bigger than DK Vine is. And here I go, and I drag you in the mud, and I don't know why I do it. It's the childlike glee in me. I can't turn it off. I get going, and I get revved up, and I know I shouldn't say these things, but I say them because I don't care. because right now the only thing that matters in this world is K. Rool and Smash, baby. And you know what? I'll make some sex jokes. I'll throw in some semen gags. I'll keep it blue because it doesn't matter, because I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to get complaints. I'm going to get angry letters. But you know what? I'll just say K. Rools and Smash, so it's okay. Nothing can ruin this week.
Well, I mean, fortunately for you, like, regardless of how relatively PG I like to keep the Geek Critique, this isn't the Geek Critique.
This isn't the Geek Critique, no. So, no, this is a Donkey Kong podcast, so of course it's rated R.
And additionally, DK Vine itself was a big part of my formative years in video game fandom. So I'm gonna let you off the hook for a lot.
So, obviously, from Donkey Kong Country, he's got the crown throw, the boomerang crown throw. It's great to see. Great to see. From Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Land, he's got a variation on the belly flop.
Dude, the belly flop was from Donkey Kong Land, wasn't it? I'd forgotten about that.
Like, he jumps in Donkey Kong Country, but he flops specifically in Donkey Kong Land. So I think it's more of a land reference. It's not quite the same animation. Like, he's not doing the full-on ridiculous, like, jumping in a swimming pool style belly flop, but he uses his belly, and he does it in such a forward thrust way, and jumping that, yeah, he's got a belly flop, and I'm gonna chalk that up as a land reference. It's gotta be, because if they've got so many deep cuts in this, I have to imagine they looked at every K. Rool appearance, and there's unfortunately not that many to choose from. So of course you look at Donkey Kong Land, and which had a unique K. Rool boss fight that differed from its 16-bit cousins. So, as
well as one of the best endings to any video game ever.
Congratulations.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, it's just to the point, to the point. That's how it should be.
Yeah. So, from Donkey Kong Country 2, this is basically everything the fans have talked about for years now. How to put K. Rool in Smash Brothers, movesets, detailed moveset list. This is almost verbatim, Josh. So, one of the things about K. Rool was, we were wondering how would you handle his alts, his alternate costumes. And, would he have full-on Captain K. Rool persona? Would he have full-on Baron K. Roolenstein, King Crusher K. Rool the boxer? Would he have his weird, almost pharaoh-like sporting attire? No. His alts are different colors of his scales, much like Donkey Kong is just different colored fur. But they reference and incorporate everything into his moveset. So from Captain K. Rool, which I guess they figured out is no longer K. Rool's brother, we finally put that to bed.
And announcing as a new Echo character, Captain K. Rool.
If Zero Suit Samus can be justified, sure. Captain K. Rool, from Captain K. Rool, he puts on his pirate hat with the Gremlin Jolly Roger on it. And he whips out the blunderbuss, and he uses the blunderbuss. He sucks people in with the blunderbuss, right?
Right. And he also, doesn't he also fire cannonballs out of it?
Yes. I want to say yes. Let me get to that relevant part in the video. Yes, he cannonballs. Yes, they're there. So, and yes, then he does the land belly flop. And it is distinctly the land belly flop. He does it to Little Mac in the trailer. Holy
Now, I don't know
shit.
if you've seen this, but speaking of the moveset, if you, so of course there's the trailer that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But if you go on the Super Smash Brothers website,
sure,
there's actually individual, little character trailers that just show off in-game footage, and you can see a little bit more of K. Rool's moveset in that.
Ah, yes.
Included in what made me think of the cannonball specifically is because near the beginning of that one, he actually appears to fire a cannonball and then suck it, vacuum it back in.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he can also vacuum in other characters that way.
Well, and it also looked like the cannonball was doing a slight swirly whirl like they did in DKC2, not to the extent, but a little bit. It's not just a straight shot. It's doing a little ridiculous swirl. like the tornado swirl that it did. Anyway,
The thing I really like about the fact that he wears, that it's so freaking simple. He just puts on different aspects of the costume depending on what moves he's doing. But like, it's interesting to think that in all the years that people have been speculating about K-Rool and that I've been thinking about K-Rool and what he would be like, that I've never thought of that. And I think it's almost just because like I was too close to like the Donkey Kong Country series where, K-Rool is this one persona and he is this one thing throughout an entire game. And then so like it was just hard to comprehend of the idea of him just swapping between them.
Right, or just using the relevant aspects. I guess the only thing that's not relevant there with the blunderbuss is the pirate hat. He doesn't need the pirate hat. It's not like when he whips out the next thing, he puts on a weird toupee and a forehead prosthetic that doesn't exist otherwise. From Baron K. Rulenstein, from DKC3, he's got his little hella pack, his hella backpack. And, okay, wow. I think like the blunderbuss, I would have like believed had you told me, but the helipack, the DKC3 Baron K. Rulenstein really?
I know Kitty Kong is in that game. I can't believe that people played it to that extent.
So people have been wanting me to point out that, the 3 Donkey Kong characters in Super Smash Bros. Now are NPCs of Donkey Kong Country 3.
Yeah, true.
Technically, yeah. So, anyway. And then from Donkey Kong 64, he whips out a boxing glove, referencing his, King Crusher K-Rool boxing persona. But then his final smash, Josh. His final smash. Oh my god. I'll let you have the honors here.
Are you serious? Because I was just about to say, no, go for it, man. This one's all you. But okay, I'll tell you what it is. His final smash, and it took me a couple of viewings to be like, oh, okay, the way they set this up, this has to be his final smash. So he seems to capture, like a lot of final smashes in Smash 4 seem to be, it's very cinematic, and it's he seems to capture a certain amount of enemies in front of him. And then we cut to a shot of the mechanized crocodile Isle from off of Donkey Kong 64, which fires its cannon at like the old school DK Head Island from that game, and just tears right through it.
So remember in Donkey Kong 64's game over sequence, it would cut off before we actually saw the island obliterated?
That's what I thought. I hadn't seen that in a long time, but that is what I thought.
Yeah, I always admired how tasteful it was, in that the end was about to come, but it was left to your imagination. You never actually saw it transpire. It was a lot more horrific to imagine the Kongs, their friends, the wildlife, the island itself just completely annihilated. Just in a completely apocalyptic, ghastly, fiery inferno of an ending to the Donkey Kong series. There's a lot more.
Possibly it would have been difficult to show destruction on that level on the N64 hardware.
Yeah, they couldn't even manage the fucking trees. Like there's no vegetation on the island. But well, we see it here, and I don't know how to reconcile this with canon necessarily. But. You mentioned that the face is on the island, the iconic Donkey Kong, the Donkey Kong Senior or whoever it is on the mountainside, on the side of the island. Yes, this is the rare style DK Island. The retro Donkey Kong Island, it was laid out the same, but it, for whatever reason, was lacking the face. Artists that retro or whatever just thought, well, that's stupid. Donkey Kong having his face on the island, that's stupid.
That is weird. It's such a like iconic part of the locale.
I know. It's like,
and I mean, Returns was so much like about like capturing that magic and remaking that magic. it is strange. I never really thought about it too hard, but it is strange that they would omit that.
Well, it's like thinking about, it's like, oh yeah, Hollywood. Yeah, I love Hollywood, but we gotta lose that fucking sign. Or, oh yeah, Paris. Can we knock down that tower? That Eiffel Tower? It's the awful tower.
Let's make a Power Rangers movie where we only play the theme song for like 3 seconds.
Yes, that's a reference. So the face is back, and who knows? I mean, maybe we can find a way to justify this is how the face crumbled off. But I think this would have to be post returns, and the reason I say that is Gorilla Glacier is still it's there, but it's barren. There's no snow on it. It is not snow capped. It is the volcanic remains of Gorilla Glacier. It's barren, but the shape is there. So I'm going to assume this is just post returns, and maybe they recarved the face or something or other happened. I'll get back to you, Josh. I'll get back to you.
If you can find a way to justify this one in canon, I'm impressed with the links that like Professor Slush can go to anyway. But
thank you.
If this is something like this can happen multiple times in the span of a few minutes. If K. Rool gets the Smash Ball twice, how are you going to explain that one?
Well, Master Hand probably just resets it every time. So it's a temporary apocalypse, and then like using the time stone in the Avengers, you can just roll it back and fix it. Or from off of Doctor Strange rather. And however they're gonna fix the Infinity War ending, you got to roll it back somehow. So Master Hand puts on the gauntlet and he snaps his fingers in the reverse direction, and it brings Donkey Kong Island back. I'll get back to you, Josh.
It is neat. It is really nice to see. Like, I don't know. And I think that's also just because of like I don't think of DK64 in the same light as I do the rest of the series. I would not have gone there for K. Rool's Final Smash, but having seen it like this, I can't imagine it any other way.
Yeah, like I was thinking K. Rool's Final Smash might be cannonballs raining down or something simple. This is just such a love letter, such a over the top, ridiculous, almost like sinfully debaucherous kind of detour into Donkey Kong wankery that
especially because it's something that any DK fan who's played the series is going to remember, because that is very iconic, that is very memorable, but it's an aspect of it that, due to hardware limitations, we never actually got to see it play out like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know I'm hard on Donkey Kong 64, but like I said earlier, I do generally love a lot of the ideas, the concepts, everything but the game itself in the game I'm on board with for the most part. So to have elements from it resuscitated and woven back into the fabric, into the tapestry that is the Donkey Kong universe, I'm all for that. I love it. I loved when Diddy's jetpack was brought back first in Mario Power Tennis. It was a different model of jetpack, just like it is in Returns and Tropical Freeze, but it's still a reference, and I was all for it. And I'm all for this. I think it's terrific. I think it's terrific that the Mechanical Crocodile Isle is back as a location. Now, people have been pointing out it looks a lot more organic here. I'm going to just chalk that up to artistic interpretation. I assume back in DK64 there were organic elements intertwined with it. We know that's the case. There was rock and stuff built into it. So it's just made a lot more transparently clear here that that is the case. And Donkey Kong Island, I love the look of Donkey Kong Island here. This is like, if this is what Donkey Kong Island looks like going forward, yes. Just like K. Rool, if this is what he looks like going forward, and Smash is the Kingmaker, so ergo it will be. But if this is what Donkey Kong Island looks like going forward, this is perfect. It blends the more rustic retro style with the exact flourishes that Rare was trying to bring to light. The face on the mountainside is covered in moss, and it's perfect. You got Vine Valley. I mean, it's minuscule. You don't get like a lot of the details. The Congo jungle is there. You can make out Monkey Mines, but just like the entrance of it. But you got Vine Valley. You can't see Kremkrok, but that's fine. It's still everything you need for it to be recognizably Donkey Kong Island. I'm in love with the way it looks.
Now, when I first saw this, because I had to watch, as discussed, we both had to watch the trailer multiple times just to even process it as being totally like real. But when I first saw this, I had missed the whole intro of, okay, this is a final smash. And I was like, okay, is this going to be like a new stage? Like, it didn't quite click what this was.
Yeah.
So do you think, and this is getting into some pretty big speculation territory here, does the fact that this doesn't exactly match its appearance in DK64, could that point to some kind of a sequel to DK64 being in development, where these elements are more in vogue?
I think Sakurai does whatever the fuck Sakurai does. Like nobody can stop it. Like Sakurai could say, by the way, we're killing Mario, and they would be like, shit, okay. Like Sakurai is basically untouchable at this point. And so Sakurai, this is one reason why it mattered that K. Rool get in Smash Brothers. Not just because I want K. Rool to be in Smash Brothers, but if anybody was going to bring K. Rool back, it was definitely going to be Sakurai. And once Sakurai does it, everybody else will follow suit. So, I don't think Sakurai necessarily goes along with what's in the pipeline, like whatever's in the works for Donkey Kong. I think Sakurai does what he does, and then everybody else says, and how high should we jump then? That's fine, because they're clearly giving us what we want here. So I think when Donkey Kong Island does reappear, it's probably going to look like this. And it's probably going to look very similar to this. I think the face is back. I think I would be very, very surprised. Now, if Retro ever makes another Donkey Kong game, that's where it gets iffy. But I think in the meantime, chances are, more than not, it's going to look like this, just like K. Rool is going to be the antagonist, just like
this. Because now if it comes up and it doesn't, people are going to be like, well, where's the face? Like, so many more people than just weirdos at DK Vine, and I'm including myself among you guys. So many more people than just us would be going, wait a minute, what happened?
And I mean, Super Smash Bros. Is all about nostalgia sometimes too. Like, you can have the original Super Nintendo Andros in there and it not be weird, So you could have Donkey Kong Island with the face and it'd be fine. You can mix Star Fox Zero with Star Fox Adventures elements and it'd be fine. So, and this is just a quick little reference. It's a quick little snapshot. It's not as monumental in the long run as K. Rool himself being a playable character in Smash Brothers, but still, yeah, I think this is going to mean something. I think this is going to matter to what the aesthetic of the island looks like, which even in the retro era has been remarkably consistent. The most remarkably consistent locale, I think, aside from maybe something like, the Pokemon, where it doesn't really change. Aesthetically, it can vary from game to game, but the fundamental layout of it is set in stone.
By the way, one thing that I just now remembered, sorry, that we didn't talk about in regards to this final smash, a little beat that I really, really like is just before it cuts. I think it's just before you see the mechanized Crocodile Island. You see K. Rool in the throne room from DK64.
Yeah,
and I don't have a trailer in front of me, but in my memory, he's like gleefully wobbling back and forth in his chair at what he's about to do.
Yeah, it's a direct homage to Donkey Kong 64, and he doesn't have the claptrap on his lap, Dr. Claw style, but otherwise, it is a clear reference. So, yeah, holy shit, the Blastomatic is in this game. What the fuck? What the fuck? Anyway, and then we cut from the Blastomatic obliterating the island, and I don't think there's any correlation here. This is back to the trailer, the cinematic, not actual gameplay footage trailer, where it shows Donkey Kong getting thrown back, and he's charging through the jungle. K. Rool's charging through the jungle, running on all fours like a beast man. This is the scariest K. Rool has ever been, Josh. Like K. Rool. I'm somebody who's thought a lot about K. Rool in my time, in my years, and I have an image of K. Rool in my head, and that's this unhinged lunatic who gets more and more genocidal and just so obsessed with revenge that he just gets more and more inept, and he's informed by his failure, and he gets more and more pathetic, but then more and more dangerous and crazier and crazier and crazier. And that's great. That's all here. But the bestial side, the kind of carnivorous crocodile, that is an aspect I've overlooked as a fan, and to have it incorporated so fully here, I fall in love with it, and I'm kind of taken aback that I never really considered that you could do that with K. Rool.
Dude, absolutely, and likewise. Just a couple of days ago, some people were speculating on a Reddit thread about who could be revealed, who might be in Smash Brothers, as happens constantly.
Sure.
And somebody kind of said, I see a lot of people wanting K. Rool, and I don't really get it. I don't really get what he could bring as far as a moveset goes, but I don't really know much about him. So I responded and was like, oh, there is so much. And, just pointing out all the different weapons that he's used, all the different personas he's taken on, the stuff that we know and stuff that's very much present in this trailer. But I mean, one thing I said then was that, he has this, blunderbuss that he can use as a rocket to, fly around. And if I had been the one doing it, then his running animation would have been that. It would have been, the way that he scoots back and forth in DKC2. And this is so much better.
Yeah, so I think the ideal presentation of a Smash Brothers character is something that is true to the core series, that incorporates references from throughout the entire history of the character, but also incorporates something new, something you wouldn't have considered, and therefore becomes part of that lore as well. Smash Brothers shouldn't just be a summary, it should also add to the legend and to the legacy, and that's what they do here. It's spot on. So K. Rool charges at Donkey Kong, leaps at him. Donkey Kong leaps up, and in cinematic fashion, and Diddy's there too, but K. Rool's got his boxing gloves on, and Donkey Kong is wearing his boxing gloves from Punch-Out and from the baseball, Mario Baseball, the Sluggers series. They're the same ones, reference, and their boxing gloves meet, and Diddy's also doing this very awkward thing where he's just putting his foot gingerly up on K. Rool's glove, like, oh yeah, I'm here too, and that creates this ridiculous anime style Dragon Ball Jump Force Sonic Boom that just kind of ripples throughout the jungle and cuts to the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate logo. Woo! Woo!
I've said it way too many times in this episode, but I'm going to say it. I'm getting cliched about this, but pitch perfect.
So, Josh, we have 21 calls to get through.
Oh my god. Here we go. Call
number 1. Let's do it.
What is up, Hyle, Josh? I'm sure you guys are excited as I am right now. I'm absolutely shook. I saw the Simon leak last night, and I was so deflated and just, ugh. And then, oh my god, they got everything I could want. They got the crown throw, the blunderbuss, he's got the pirate hat alt, the final smash, they got the helicopter pack. It's so perfect, I can't believe it. This is amazing, oh my god. God, I just, ugh. Well, I just Everyone's going nuts. This is insane. I love you all. We did it, boys.
Thank you. We love you too. I have a feeling like most of these calls, Josh, are just going to be just a group hug kind of thing. It's there's not going to be anything really substantive to really discuss that hasn't been discussed. It's just going to be cathartic, and I think we need this as a fandom sometimes. I think it's necessary.
Agreed,
so,
and I think it's also neat because, you know, you and I now have had, like, about 12 hours to kind of process this and to kind of come to terms with it. It sounds like a lot of these were made much earlier in the day, and this is also a valuable snapshot of, you know, what this means to people and what this means to us.
Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty quickly that we made arrangements for this episode, and the whole reason you were on this is you just sent me a message, and I think we were both just so giddy, and I was like, hey, I need to do a conversation tonight. I would love to have you on it. You seem to have a lot you want to say about this, and that's how it was. Basically, you got to me first, and so that's
Sure.
how it was done. And I always feel bad asking you to be on the conversation because you're a busy guy. You've got your own channel, you've got your own little empire, your own little fiefdom, and so it's just like it has to be a big deal to have Josh fucking Wallen on the conversation. And I was like, well, this is a big deal. So,
Dude, I am always happy and honored to do it.
Well, likewise, if you need me for any idiocy on your end, I will be there. All right, let's take the second call. We're getting them down one by one. This is number 2.
Hey guys, it's Dustin calling in. I don't really have any questions, but how cool was that King K. Rool reveal, huh? Pretty awesome. And that music. Oh, and we finally have a Donkey Kong assist trophy, huh? That's awesome. I mean, like I said, I don't really have any questions for you guys, but pretty cool. I'm super down. Like, all I wanted was at least one character I really wanted, and I got my main one. So I'm set for this smash. All right, have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, Dustin. Also, DJ Dustin is in the live stream chat as well. Hello. I haven't been really reading a lot because I feel like right now we're just in love with the sound of our own voice. But I haven't been reading aloud the comments, but I have been reading all of them, rest assured. Yeah, so he brings up a point, like, he just wanted, like, one character, and he's got it, so he's set for this smash. And the last time I have been able to say that was Diddy in Brawl. And I'm trying, it's hard. It's so hard for me, because this is so new, and I've had Diddy in Brawl for 10 years. But I'm trying to think what means more. Diddy in Brawl and K-Rool in Ultimate. And honestly, I think it's pretty neck and neck. It's hard to fathom a time when Diddy Kong being in a game like that would have meant so much, but it meant so much, Josh, back in Brawl when Diddy was announced. And it seemed so unthinkable at the time. But Smash made Diddy a made man. I mean, Diddy was appearing in things like Mario Kart before that, but it was Smash that made Diddy a certified Nintendo icon to be fully recognized and reckoned with. And we've had that for a decade now, so it's not really
And I think that's why, for me, the answer to the question is pretty easy. This is a bigger deal, I think, because Diddy in Brawl was not something that was expected, and it was definitely a very big deal. But it's not like
it was
Diddy had been gone.
It was expected by the optimist at the time.
Sure,
most of DK Vine, we were not known for being optimists. We were full on. A lot of us were in our early to mid 20s depression cycle, and the rest, the younger ones, were full on in the throes of teen angst. It was not a great place if you're looking for the bright side of life, the sunny side. So,
and I guess that's the thing. Like, my teen angst only lasted about 5 seconds. So, no, I was always like, oh, Diddy's in. It's about time. That's awesome. Like, it was a big deal, but it's not like Diddy had gone anywhere, you know? It's not like Diddy had been gone to the point that people were like, oh, he probably doesn't show up anymore because Microsoft owns him or something, you know? So no, for me anyway, I think this is the bigger deal.
Gothic Teddy Bear in the live stream chat says, we're all expecting the Gibbon from Jungle Beat and Brawl. I remember, I'm going to call out Sean King, beloved long-term member of the DK Vine forum, turning 30 in a couple days. And I distinctly remember him saying back in the day, like, I don't want to have to wait till I'm in my 30s to play K. Rool and Smash Brothers. Well, Sean, they announced it a couple days before you turn 30, so I hope at the very least that suffices. They made the deadline. No, but I remember he, I don't even know what my point was now. Something about, he was saying, because they were, I think, sometimes referred to as the party monkeys, and I don't really know where that terminology came from, but he was saying, he was right there with me on the cynicism train, and he was saying it's going to be the party monkeys from Jungle Beat. There's going to be a playable party monkey from off of Jungle Beat, and not Diddy Kong.
No, I remember seeing that back in the day. I didn't have like a whole lot of like involvement in the forums or in DK Vine at the time, but I was always a reader, and I remember seeing them and be like, oh, come on, that's.
Well,
Diddy might not get in, but even if he doesn't, those guys aren't going to get in.
The thing is, it became such a self-reinforcing, collectively, like, negative circle jerk that you just fed into it. It was just mob mentality. By the way, they're not Gibbons, they're Capuchins. We called them the Gibbons back in the day, but they're clearly supposed to be Capuchins.
If only 2008 DK Vine could see this trailer.
Right, exactly. Like, that's what I said. I want to send some of this back.
Well, then they'd just be pissed off that they're going to have to wait 10 years.
Well, look, I mean, to quote John Locke from off of Lost, I needed that pain to get to where I am today. So, you know, I never want to alter our learning lessons because it makes these moments all the more sweeter.
You don't want to unravel the tapestry. And right. That's the lesson that Q taught Picard.
Anyway, so Diddy Kong was this icebreaker. It broke through that negative wall. K. Rool is coming at a different time. K. Rool is coming at a time of, you still get that negativity out there, but I think by virtue of the oldest members of the fandom reaching their 30s, and the people who made these games, like, reaching their late 40s and 50s, I think with that comes the wisdom of age, and that kind of helps percolate downward in the fandom a little bit. So, and like I said, we're in a completely different place than we were a decade ago. Rare is thriving. Sea of Thieves actually has a like, loyal fan base. We've got the Platonic guys at work. We've got a Nintendo that is fully committed to not just Donkey Kong, but Donkey Kong Country, not just Mario versus Donkey Kong, or reinventing the wheel for the sake of reinventing the wheel with Jungle Beat.
Right, so I get what you're saying here, is that, like, while K. Rool may mean more in sort of a macro sense, I guess, that to DK Vine and to the Donkey Kong community, Diddy Kong was such, like, a breath of fresh air. It was like this shining light in a sea of cynicism.
And it was validation at a time when we needed to be validated. It was the first non-Japanese created character in Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
K. Rool is the second Western character in Smash Brothers.
You forget Dark Samus.
Oh, well, okay, they were revealed the same day, and Dark Samus is Echo, so you know what? Bite me, Josh, bite me.
People would be mad at me if I hadn't said that.
Okay, alright, well, look. I'm just saying that's pretty impressive that the two main Western characters are both from the same series and both from Rare. Steve Mails and Kev Bayless. Like, congrats to those dudes. Like, this must be a sweet day for them.
No, I saw them. I saw them talking on Twitter about it earlier today, and that was really cool.
All right, so anyway, so yeah, different times. I would say though they mean just as much, just completely different things, and that's where I'm going to leave that. Like
that's fair.
Yeah, like this is validation, yes, but like Diddy Kong, but this is also us getting our beloved main antagonist back for keeps. This is Donkey Kong finally having a defined, well-rounded cast, heroes and villains. And it's. I mean, yeah, we've already been through all this. It's
not like when The Rock came back in 2011 and said, "I'm never going away again." K. Rool is here. It really is here to stay.
Sure. Yes. Yes. Okay. I was there with the Vince Russo references, but for some reason, Latter Day Rock. I'll just take your word for it. So let's take this third call, shall we?
Sure.
I've never beaten a Donkey Kong Country game in my life, but hey, King K. Rool's in the game, so... Ah!
I'm assuming, Josh, that was one of yours.
There was a guy who said that he'd called in but forgot to say his name, so perhaps so, yes.
Well, he says he's never beaten a Donkey Kong Country game in his life. So, I mean, I know there are Kongversation listeners that, like, they're Banjo fans, and Donkey Kong Country isn't necessarily their preferred corner of the DKU. So you know, might have been one of mine, but that's still cool. And it's cool that even if you've never actually seen K. Rool in a game, you can get excited about it. And I feel like that it would be great if every fan got a little something what they wanted, and I unfortunately that's impossible. And like I know our good friend Momechi, Tony, he really wants a Rhythm Heaven character, and it must suck for him to have to go through that, knowing that he probably won't get one. But
Tony, I am with you on that. I dove deep into the series like a couple of months ago, and I'm like, why have I been putting off playing this for so long?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, not as like I know, but yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, that raises an interesting point, is that like it's been kind of nice to see over the course, like since the announcement happened, you know, checking up on threads, checking up on Reddit, and going through Twitter. Even the people who aren't like Donkey Kong Country fans, or who like that sort of dissenting voice I talked about earlier, where it's like, oh, why should K. Rool be in? He just hasn't been relevant in so long. Right. I haven't really seen much of that since the trailer. I think it's been really well received, even by people who don't otherwise like care that much about Donkey Kong Country. And I think that speaks again to like the power of Smash Brothers, because some portion of these people seeing this trailer are going to be like, okay, I need to see what this is about.
Well, also, yeah, the trailer, I think, sells K. Rool in such a way that it is an effective tool of, this is why K. Rool, this is not just validation for K. Rool fans, this is why K. Rool deserves to be in the game. This is why this character is so cool. This is why he has legions of fans campaigning for him for half a decade. Here you go. And you see that and you're like, oh, I understand it now. Okay, K. Rool. All right. Fourth call, I believe.
Are we on 4? Okay.
Hey, DK Von, this is Kyber. I can't speak. Is this real life? King K. Rool is in Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think what I'm most excited for, more than his reveal as a character finally in this game, is the potential that this now means for the DKU universe and the DKC games, you know, in total. Like, will this be the coming of K. Rool and the Kremlins in the next Donkey Kong Country game for Switch? Will this mean more representation in maybe things like Mario Kart or other cameo games? The potential is there. Nintendo clearly knows now that, like, we want this villain, and the games coming out in the future will be, I'm sure, representative of his reveal in this game. Anyway, thank you so much for taking my call. I can't be more hyped for this game now. This was the best thing that ever happened today. Thank you for taking the call. Bye.
It's the best thing that ever happened today. That's a pretty limited window, I would say. But I would agree. It is the best thing that ever happened today. And
dude,
and
he was
days around
he made that call when he was brain fried.
Oh yeah, look,
we've all
if
been.
if I called into my own show this morning, it would have just been and it would have made perfect sense to me at the time. But then looking back at it, I would have called 911 and. So
the ukulele team really should have hired you instead of JonTron. That's all I'm saying.
I can only do grizzled old prospectors. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Kyber, named after the lightsaber crystals. So yes, Kyber, or in the original expanded universe, I believe the splinter of the mind's eye on the planet Mimbian, as seen.
Yeah. So anyway.
As seen in the movie Solo, which unfortunately was not seen because nobody saw the movie Solo. I liked Solo.
No, that's fine. Shut down my Star Trek references, but just indulge. Go ahead, Hyle.
Yeah, sorry. I'm happy Picard is coming back. I like Patrick Stewart.
As do I, but come on.
Okay, so yeah, look. Obviously, yeah, Kyber, you're right. K-Rool's gonna be the main antagonist of the next Donkey Kong game. I mean, we can take that to the bank now. Like that's K-Rool is not going away again, and I want to get to the point where I'm sick of K-Rool, where I'm like, can't Donkey Kong have a bigger rogues gallery than just K-Rool? I want to get to that point. Like that would be awesome because K-Rool, man, yeah. I don't think I'm ever gonna get to that point again because it's been so long. We've gotten so many games without him that I'm like, yeah, I don't care about an expanded rogues gallery. Just give me some more K-Rool, man. I just from here on out, it could just be K-Rool to the end of time, and that would be fine. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Number 5.
Hey, Thingster here. It's been a while, popping out of my gopher hole, celebrating the fact that the war is over. We did it. We can go home. We succeeded in achieving the minimum required level of vocal obnoxiousness needed to get K-Rool in the game. And can I just say that for all the grief we give Sakurai and his team about treating Donkey Kong as a lower priority franchise, they got everything about him right. They did their research. They could have easily phoned him in by sticking him with moves from DKC 1, which is usually the only DKC game Nintendo acknowledges. But no, we got Captain K-Rool. We got Baron K-Roolstein. We got King Crush at K-Rool. We got the freaking Blastomatic, and we even see it shooting the island, which we didn't even get to see in the actual game it's from. The trailer's gorgeous. It looks like any of the cinematics in Returns of Tropical Freeze. The gameplay Galleon remix sounds great, and it sounds like we could get quite a bit more music too, which is really exciting. Like, the remaining characters in this game could all be mindless drones from Fire Emblem, which is still a distinct possibility. And I wouldn't care. But here's the thing, and like I know we should focus on celebrating K-Rool today, but we're still early in the reveal process, so we might not even be done yet. Let's just look at Metroid, and I know we throw playful jabs at Metroid fans, but they've gone through a lot of the same ups and downs we have. 2 months ago, they had as many Smash characters as we did, and they have now doubled their character count. Sure, their character today was an Echo Fighter, but that's where I see good news for Donkey Kong. Given K-Rool's similar presentation to Ridley being a big reveal at the end of the presentation, could we still see a DK Echo Fighter? I know some people would like to see Diddy reworked into Dixie. I personally hold Dixie's uniqueness in too high of a regard for that. I'd rather wait to see her appear with more unique moves as either later DLC or in a future installment. But we still have options. I feel like Funky is our best bet. And it'd almost be fitting given how Funky Kong is currently more popular than he's ever been. Tropical Freeze Switch is already outselling the Wii U version only 3 months in, which is great. We can even get weird and use Kitty, and you laugh, but we did just get a DKC3 reference in Smash Brothers today. And of course, the character everyone wants, Lord Frederick, is an Echo Fighter of K. Rool. But this is all greediness at this point. I mean, we bitch and bitch for years, and when we get what we want more. Bottom line is, it's a great day for us. It's a great day for K. Rool's renewed relevance, and I can't wait to play as him.
Oh, well, yes. Thank you for the call. And
yeah, dude, I'll just say basically agreed on all points. Aside from any thought that Kitty could possibly make it into Smash Brothers. Aside from that one, though.
Kitty would make an effective assist trophy, I think.
In getting me to... He would assist me in turning the game off. Yes.
No, what you have to do is you'd have to babysit him. And so he'd have to tag along. What the assist trophy would do would be... No. Your enemies would have to babysit him for the duration of the match.
That might be acceptable. That might be okay. Okay, seriously though, like what you said about the Echo Fighters matches word for word discussions that my girlfriend and I had earlier today. In terms of like, okay, for one thing, the first thing you said, even if we don't get anything else at all, even if everything else is just a Fire Emblem character, this is good. We're good. If nothing else gets announced, it's fine. But the potential of having Echo Fighters, I would say, like you said, Funky Kong is probably the most likely possibility, and I would welcome it, and I think that would work really well. Yeah. And equally, what you said about Dixie and Diddy might make sense, and it might be doable, but I would much rather hold off and let Dixie be her own character at some point down the line.
Yeah, Dixie, like he said, Dixie means too much. Or she should mean too much to just be a simple Echo Fighter. Funky, perfect Echo Fighter for Donkey Kong. Get it done. Do it.
Like, yeah, you could do it. You could just replace Diddy's, like, barrel jetpack moves with the helicopter hair thing. It would work, but it wouldn't be ideal, and I would much rather just hold off for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, Dixie deserves to be in Smash Brothers. She absolutely does. But so does Cranky for that matter. But I think it means more to have K. Rool in now than it does to have Dixie or Cranky in. It means more for the franchise and the franchise's health, and K. Rool gets more out of it than Dixie does at this point. Dixie, at the very least, Dixie is safe in the series, if not underutilized. So
exactly, and that's not something we really touched on earlier, but I agree there too. Like, if Dixie had gotten in place of K. Rool, like you speculated earlier, yeah, it would have been great. It would have been really exciting. I would have been all for it. But I would have been like, okay, it's excellent, it's awesome. Still would have rather had K. Rool for all the reasons that we've discussed.
Absolutely. All right, let's hear what number 6 has to say.
Hello, Kongversation. This is Slingblade from off of the DK Vine forums, calling in to join the flood of excitement about King K. Rool being finally confirmed for the new Smash Brothers game. His reveal today was just fantastic. Hearing that stomping and then cutting to the Donkey Kong characters really elicited a real no way kind of reaction out of me when it just, it turns out to be what you've actually been expecting. And then once you see him in action, you tell they've done such a good job at capturing his goofiness and the ferocious nature of him. His personality really shines through in character animations and all that stuff. In the blunderbuss and the pirate hat from 2 and the K. Rolenstein jetpack from Country 3, as well as the gloves and Blastomatic and all that from 64. Just pulling from all sources for this inclusion, and it's great to see the direct inspiration from the older games. And, his trailer is so good, in fact, that as amazing as it is to have him in now, it almost makes me wonder how well they would have done Dixie. And I'm a little surprised that she didn't also show up at the end, like towards the end there where he stomps Donkey and Diddy into the ground. Maybe she'd, kick him and rescue him again like it's Donkey Kong Country 3 or something. And I know this isn't the end of the announcement, so I still have hope for her, but it just really makes me want to see her even more now that they've shown how well they can do with her. And though I've contemplated her as an Echo Fighter in the past, it just seems like it would be a disservice to make her an altered Diddy. But, you always wish for more, so that's enough of that. I'm more than happy with what we have between today's announcement and Ridley and Snake returning and, everyone's favorite Princess Daisy that everyone was so excited for. I actually was. This really is shaping up to be the ultimate Smash Brothers game. And I look forward to hearing all of your guys' thoughts on the show tonight, but until then, I have to go hook up a ghetto blaster to the roof of my car and crank up some Gangplank Galleon in the streets so everyone knows the news. Play it loud.
Well, thank you for the call. I feel like we're all on the same wavelength right now. The only thing I would disagree with is it wouldn't be a ghetto blaster, it would be a ghetto blastomatic.
No, I like how everybody's saying, like, they're speculating and they're saying, like, okay, well, it would be cool if this happened, or it would be, like, but, like, I'm perfectly happy with what we got. Like, nobody is in any way acting entitled, and how can you in light of what's happened here?
The only people who I think would be entitled to feel entitled would be those Donkey Kong fans who Dixie Kong is their favorite video game character. The ones who, like, that is the character that they identify with, and so yeah, I'll give them that. But by and large, yeah, I think everybody is pleased with this. Everybody outside of that part of the Venn diagram, we're pleased with it. So,
well, I mean, Dixie is my favorite character in the series, but nonetheless, like, I just, I know that K. Rool means so much more, and for that matter, like, fits the template of. I think he fits the template a little easier of making a really good Smash Brothers character in general.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Even setting aside the whole thing about how it's been 10 years and what it means for the fandom, like, take all that away and go back to, like, Brawl when K. Rool was still relatively, contemporary. I would still, like, love to be able to play as him in a Smash Brothers game because of all the different things that he can do.
Sure, and honestly, like, I like Dixie Kong as a character much more than K. Rool, but K. Rool's so much cooler in Smash Brothers, if I'm honest. So, yeah. And K. Rool versus Bowser, Josh. K. Rool versus Ganondorf. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. Mario versus K. Rool. What the fuck? Sonic versus K. Rool.
The game comes out in December. There may not be any new Geek Critique videos for the whole of 2019.
I was gonna say, Jesus isn't getting a birthday that year. It's canceled this year. Sorry, kids. No more Christmas. We're just all gonna be having K. Rool fight different characters from across the video game universes. All right. Number 7. Lucky number 7.
Right.
Lucky
Let
number
me get it in
11.
there.
All right.
Let's go.
Hey, so about K. Rool, does this count as his, like, grand return? Or since this is a cameo game and he has yet to reappear in a mainline Donkey Kong Country game, is this more like something that takes place in the timeline before his long disappearance and that we still await his actual real future return in an actual, mainline game? So that's, I don't really know how the timeline works with cameo games and whatnot, so I guess that's my question. Bye.
Well, so the timeline in cameo games, it generally syncs up with when the game is released, minus situational games like the Olympic series, the Mario and Sonic series, because then that would obviously be when those specific Olympic games take place. And Smash Brothers is a bit different in that you've got all sorts of time travel and universe hopping shenanigans. But by and large, I think we're supposed to take this as K. Rool 2018, same point in the timeline as Donkey and Diddy. K. Rool has been in hiding for 10 years. Yes, this is his grand return, both in universe and out of it. This is it. This is obviously he needs to make his return in the Donkey Kong series proper and to see what, like, sort of machinations he's been up to and concocting. But I think getting plucked out of time by Master Hand and being a chosen combatant in Smash Brothers is perfectly fine for his grand return. I think it means more ultimately for K. Rool's legacy than just popping up again in the Donkey Kong series. So sure, yeah.
Yeah, I like. Basically, hypothetically, would you rather have had? I mean, would you rather have had like K. Rool? He is revealed as Lord Frederick at the end of Tropical Freeze, and he is the final boss. That would have been amazing. But is this a bigger deal? If you could only have one or the other.
Here's the thing: if K. Rool was revealed as Lord Frederick, ultimately K. Rool's still going to be overshadowed by the Snowmat aesthetic and the idea of Frederick himself. So K. Rool's return is going to be muted and something mostly unseen by gamers.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
This way, K. Rool exerts his influence. His K. Roolness overrides everything else and leaves a mark on future Donkey Kong games. Future Donkey Kong games, as we said, the reverberations from this are going to be felt for years to come in the Donkey Kong series. So
exactly, and that's why, like in a meta sense, like in an out of universe perspective, like yes, this is definitely K. Rool's big like grand return. It wouldn't have meant as much if he had just randomly popped up in some like Mario vs. Sonic at the Olympic Games. Oh, K. Rool's a playable character. That would have been cool. It's about 10 years overdue, but all right, great. But the way that it was done here, like in universe and out, this is it.
Yeah, and once upon a time, I would have said, no, K. Rool needs to return in a Donkey Kong Country game first. I was wrong. This is ultimately the way to get it done, and I don't know if we could have gotten it done had it not been for this. So, okay. Thank you for the call. Number 8. Ocho.
Hey, Hyle guys, it's me. It's Jacob Rush from Nintendo Nostalgia. Also known as Nos Jacob 73 in the chats and on my Switch. But I am through the roof, guys. I cannot believe K. Rool is finally in here. This direct had so much good stuff from like Dark Samus, just some levels and trophies I saw and Pokemon that I really loved. I loved everything about it. But K. Rool at the end, it just blew my mind. I have to share my excitement with a fan base that gets it. And wow, I just loved the cutscene that we saw, and it makes me, even hopeful and to feed into my imagination what the future Donkey Kong games are going to look like with K. Rool back in the mix and the Kongs having to go up against him. I think this bodes well for just the future of the Kremlings. Nintendo finally acknowledged that, yeah, K. Rool exists, and we do own the rights to the Kremlings, which we know that, but some people don't think that. And guys, I'm just through the roof. So I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I'm excited for this episode, and the only thing that could make this Smash Brothers any better, in my opinion, is if Banjo-Kazooie got in. So, but hey, I'll take K. Rool if that's all we get. But all right, guys, can't wait to hear the show, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you, Jacob. And once again, give a plug to the Nintendo Nostalgia podcast. I appeared on the recent Donkey Kong Country 2 episode of that. Had a great time talking about it. I feel like had it been recorded now, we would have just gone on a 2-hour tangent about K. Rool. But yeah, it's almost weird. Like I'm thinking like all the other potential newcomers that would mean so much for the Donkey Kong universe. Your Dixie Kongs, your Banjo-Kazooies, and I'm thinking like I almost don't want to be greedy. Like it's like okay. Oh, I got K. Rool. Okay, that's enough. I'll just go over to my corner and play with my toys. Please give Rhythm Heaven fans something. Please give. Help me out, Josh. What? Please give. The
Choir Boys.
Yeah. Oh yes. Please give the really diehard fans of the NES Track Meet game their icon, please.
Yellow shirt guy.
See, that would please me though. That's not DKU, but he still means so much to DK Vine. Essentially, that would be a cheat. But yeah, like I honestly, I have to come clean with you, Josh. I did not really think K. Rool was going to be here. I thought I didn't want to give up the ghost really, but at the end of the day, I didn't think we were going to get K. Rool. I thought, I don't know what I thought. I
was hoping for it, of course, but I wasn't like getting my hopes up about it. I mean, it's a different perspective for me, but being like just such a huge Smash fan in general, I was gonna get the game and I was gonna love it regardless. But looking at it from the other side, though, it does make a lot of sense given what we know about the state of Donkey Kong Country and just how much of an effort is being made to revive it and to make it distinct as its own entity within Nintendo.
Yeah, and the way to do that is bring back the main bad guy with the most personality and markability. So, yeah, okay. It's just weird to say. Still, we're almost 3 hours into this, and it's still weird to talk about. And sometimes it just sinks in. Like you get numb to it. You're like, okay, this is our reality now, and then it just hits you again. It just worms its way into a different crevice that it hasn't wormed its way in yet. You're like, whoa, K. Rool, what are you doing in there?
Dude, I totally get it. I mean, this is how, obviously I'm hyped, obviously I'm excited, obviously this, as far as realistic characters that could have actually been in Smash Brothers go, this was either number 1 or number 2. But like, what you're feeling now is probably a whole lot like what I was feeling in 2007 when Sonic was revealed in Brawl.
I was going to ask. I was wondering.
I could not process that, and especially given, I mean, I guess it was kind of similar with the Diddy reveal for you guys, because of the state of the series at the time, because we were only a year out from the catastrophe that was Sonic 06. So to see the series, this element of the series like portrayed so well and done so well, just it was this shot of hope that we desperately needed at the time.
Yeah, and I don't know, like the state of the world right now. I'm not like going on a political soapbox, but it is demoralizing, and everybody's in a very, very dark place. And I know this stuff doesn't matter. I know this is just goofy cartoon animals running around on a monitor on a screen, but it's nice to have this sheer burst of exuberance, of silliness, of your inner childhood coming out to play and forgetting all your troubles just for a bit. And I think we all needed this. I think it's just this great cathartic enema. And it's just like, oh yeah, the world is a pretty cool place. Like, even if something as silly as a cartoon character in a game where characters slap each other, it's fun when humans create something for other humans to enjoy.
And that's like, I kind of like don't. And I know you're sort of couching it in like, it's not like this is as significant as what's happening out there in the real world. But, I think that a big part of the message that I try to convey is that, gaming is important, and the things, not necessarily because of like what these things are, but because of what they come to mean to people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think as our generation ages and becomes the standard bearers of society, that's going to be a more acceptable viewpoint. I think.
And it has been becoming you're
it has.
Right.
I think so much of our society is still dictated by the boomer perspective, where they look down on anything that they were never a part of, or, they find as frivolous or whatever. But I think more and more you're gonna see that idea made manifest. So yeah, but K. Rool equals world peace. I'm not saying it. we'll wait to see. We'll wait to see what happens. He's got to be in some more games first, but I'm just saying, the world seems like a happier place since he's been announced in Smash Brothers. So, maybe Nintendo, you should think about that. All right. We're not even in the double digits yet.
Not even halfway through.
Number 9. No, okay, let's play it.
Hey guys, it's Ethan Van the Bear here, and I'm sorry, I'm still shaking. Roll. Oh my god. I swear that Simon Belmont. I swear, as soon as I think K. Rool's almost chances are done. Okay, you guys get, I get it. We're all excited about K. Rool. He's perfect. He references to the rarest DK games perfectly. We're getting nice amiibo. And one of my favorite characters ever, and anything ever is getting brought back. Just, yeah. So, okay, now so getting all that out of the way, I want to ask a little question now. So, with K. Rool being in Smash, is the character's future secure? Do we have to worry any more about K. Rool not being present in Donkey Kong series? Honestly, I think no, we don't have to worry about K. Rool anymore. Because Smash Brothers is just on a whole other level. If a character gets in that game, it's just, they're not going away. Like, I know there's some examples like, like Lucas, Mother 3, but just, look, the point is now, K. Rool is the Donkey Kong villain. Well, you know what I mean. Now he's officially declared Donkey Kong's main villain, being well represented in Smash, and I think any arguments about, the character is irrelevant, and, it's been too long to tease anymore, I think those can be tossed aside. Nintendo knows the demand. K. Rool's more than popular in the mainstream now, so I think next time Donkey Kong game rolls around, high chances K. Rool's going to be in. And even if he's not, I'm not even worried, because his future's secure. I'm like 100% sure. So yeah, I'll see you guys later, and I need to lay down. I'm still not over. Okay.
Whoa.
So that exuberance you wanted to hear, Josh.
No, I kept imagining him sitting in the throne room from off of DK64, rocking back and forth and wiggling his toes.
See, I was picturing that banana peel that Donkey Kong discarded.
No,
thank you, Ethan. Yeah, I mean, you basically, again, points that have been touched upon again and again. You're absolutely right. We don't have to worry. I think even if Retro were to make a third Donkey Kong Country game, they would use K. Rool.
Now, to be clear, I don't think... Look, Samus doesn't have to fight Ridley every single time. And that's something that I like about that series. I do think it's a good thing that Returns and Tropical Freeze have established that the antagonist of a Donkey Kong Country game doesn't always have to be the Kremlings, and I'm fine with it not always being the Kremlings, or even, like, the Kremlings having a role and K. Rool being in there somewhere, but not necessarily even being the overarching bad guy. That'd be fine, too. But, yeah, K. Rool is definitely back and isn't going anywhere again.
Yep. Yeah, we never have to worry. Again, ever. So... enjoy that feeling, Ethan. And we will enjoy the 10th call as we play it now.
Hi, DK Vine. This is Thomas Freestad, BKuba666, Baron Barrier, one half of Kremlin campaigner. Holy fucking shit. This is basically a new era, and I don't even know how to begin to adjust. Jesus Christ, this is a character that would have been dead in a garbage can with Worf and Tatanga and every other one-off villain had the fans said nothing. And they didn't, and so here we are today. I wanted to float a theory by you guys that I think could bear some fruit in the coming year or so, which is that new playable Smash model for K. Rool might have come from a currently unreleased DK game. The reason I might think that is because the character models for every other revived rare DK character harkened back to their Payon models, and this one clearly takes inspiration from there as well for K. Rool. But when we had the almost fully rare-inspired costume just 3 years ago, I think something might have happened to make that switch. On top of it being more expressive, more cohesive, all that stuff. Wanted to see what you guys thought about that. Could this K. Rool model be appearing in a separate game behind our backs? All right. Have a fucking amazing party, you guys. Peacing out. See ya. Bye.
Well, Thomas, thank you for calling in. And actually, I want to have you personally on a conversation very soon, maybe a conversation mini, because I feel like there's still so much that we're not going to really address on this episode, believe it or not. But specifically, I want to hear what the Kremlin campaigners have to say in full. I think that would be an interesting conversation. Plus, I've had several calls come in on the hotline as we've been recording this episode. We will not be able to get to those for time, so that would give us a chance to play some of the other calls that we've been getting while we've been recording this. So, yeah, Thomas,
come on, Hyle. Let's just stay awake all night.
I've been up since 5, Josh. I'm tired.
Oh my god.
So Thomas, I will be in touch with you very, very soon. But as to your query, we've addressed this. I think it's been so long since the Payon games. It's been so long since K. Rool's been in a Donkey Kong game or made any appearance whatsoever that it was basically just time to rework his design, have kind of the best of all eras, which Sakurai and his team do a great job at. And I don't think we should read that this actually came from elsewhere. I think it is very much in tune with what the Smash team does.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier, Sakurai does what Sakurai does. The Donkey Kong, I remember that excellent feature back on the DK Vine Tumblr, showing the character models and how the designs have changed over time. And yeah, the Smash Brothers model was not always necessarily influenced by anything that was going on around it.
Yes. And that's not to say that this design or something that harkens very closely to it won't be showing up in the next Donkey Kong game, because, again, I think it very much will be. I just wouldn't read any kind of cross-company conspiracy about where this design came from. It came from Sakurai and his art team. So yeah, but yeah, we'll talk soon. We'll talk more about it when you're on the conversation, when we have another episode about K. Rool in Smash Brothers.
The rest of the season may just be taking calls about K. Rool and Smash Brothers, you know?
It won't be, but but this is just the tip of the mechanical Death Island. So let's go to number 11 now, I believe. 11.
I think so.
All right. Smart here. I just saw the trailer. All I have to say, it's pretty much everything I wanted and more. If you look at the trailer, it's pretty good. You know, he's got a move from each game. You know, you got the crown from DK1. You got the helicopter from DKC3. You have a nice little DK64 reference with the Final Smash. Now let me cut to the main deal. Let me get to the main meat. Let me get to the meat and potatoes. What I'm trying to say is, if you go to the Smash Bros. Website and take a look at the character art for K. Rool, This kind of blew my mind. For years, I thought that K. Rool's belly was actually like his flesh, but it kind of looks like his armor plating. So my question is, why does he have a belly button for his armor? Just go to the website, you'll see what I'm talking about. This blew my mind. For years, I thought that was his belly. I thought crocodiles had a yellow underside, but I guess not. I just looked it up. Apparently, they don't. So. Interesting stuff. Very, very hyped.
Well, so yes, K. Rool, again, he has armor plating, and this was confirmed by Steve Mails that he wears gold plating. It came off during the Payon era. And he does have a yellow belly underneath the gold armor chest plate, or belly plate, as it were. As far as the belly button goes, well, you have to remember that he's not actually a crocodile. He's crocodilian, but he is actually a Kremling, which is a fictional race of humanoid crocodiles.
Fictional? What?
Well, you know what I mean. So... Their origins are with crocodiles, but they were evolved thanks to the Kremlin source earth energies deep beneath Crocodile Isle. So they can be whatever they want to be. So they may even reproduce a little bit more like mammals, ergo the belly button. Right? Right?
It's a possibility, yes.
It's a possibility. Although, I'm thinking like he has the belly button on the armor plating, right? So I'm thinking back to the Joel Schumacher Batman movies with the nipples on the bat suit.
Dude, it's hilarious that you went there, because as soon as he said that, I went to Giant Gonzalez. Have you ever heard of Giant Gonzalez?
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he had the it's almost like the slim good body.
Yeah, like, so Giant Gonzalez was a very tall wrestler who wore this full body suit featuring muscles and a completely sculpted buttocks, and he was made to appear nude for some reason, and this was in like 1993.
Right.
It was very poor, very bad.
Looking at the Payon era artwork, though, he does have a belly button there. So, and it's a disgusting like bulge of an Audi. So he's got one. It's not just part of the armor. Although why he wants to accentuate it on the armor itself, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's cool to see the artwork on the website and see that the armor has scuffs on it. It has it's dirty, it's used, it's clearly not part of his natural self. And, I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you for the call. Number 12. We are less than 10 away now.
Oh my God.
Woo! This only happens once in a lifetime. So.
Smorg here again. Just spent 5 minutes looking up, if crocodiles had belly buttons. Turns out they don't. I gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed. K. Rool's design is not accurate to life. Here's hoping one of the alternate costumes is his scientist garb. What's interesting is when he shoots the musket, he puts on the pirate hat. But when he does the up B, when he's got the helicopter, he doesn't put on the lab coat. But then again, that's not actually K. Rool. That's his whatever the hell he was called. The other one, von Rulenstein, K. von something Stein. I don't know. So yeah, just pretty. Yeah, let's just take a look at his designs throughout the years. You see, wait, is it K. Rool's belly button or is it armor? Why in the show did K. Rool have nipples and now he doesn't? That's the question.
Well, it's because the show is horseshit. So
it says a lot about how deep into this episode we are that we're gonna spend about 10 minutes here talking about K. Rool's belly button.
I've said my piece on K. Rool's belly button. He's a Kremling, not a crocodile. The Kremling source they have umbilical cords. I don't know why the evolution of the Kremling source influenced these crocodiles to evolve into humanoids that at the very least have umbilical cords. They don't seem to lay eggs. Whatever. But what the hell? Oh, what? Oh, did he suggest Baron K. Roolenstein wasn't K. Rool? Because he is. It's just another persona.
He seemed to, yeah.
Yeah, it's just another persona, just because it's not... I know K. Rool, King K. Rool, Captain K. Rool, that's easy to get, but
I couldn't really tell if he was making a joke about how in Smash Brothers it said, that Captain K. Rool was his brother.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but no, the weirdest, if you really want to get hung up on K. Rool's anatomy, look at the renders of Baron K. Roolenstein. He's got a forehead that doesn't exist on actual K. Rool renders of the King and the Captain and King Krusha, K. Rool's, well, I guess there was just a polygonal model of that, but you know what I mean. So he has to have a prosthetic forehead, just so he can wear that weird doctor forehead mirror. What is that thing? You know what I mean? The little round disc thing.
It starts with an O. I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Okay. No, I'm not saying it's an okay. I'm saying okay. Right. I don't really care because we're so deep into this episode and we've just spent so long talking about the nooks on K. Rool's belly that I don't really... I just want to get to call number 13 at this point.
Lucky number 13. Let's do it.
Hey, Hyle. This is Hyle, the stone version of you from Krypton. Hyle. No, dummy, it's me, your favorite caller. Ace-time caller here, ready to talk about Smash Ultimate. Can you believe that? Luigi is dead? You know Luigi is dead was just trending higher than K. Rool or King K. Rool on Twitter, probably because K. Rool's hashtag is split between the two, while the hashtag Luigi is dead is only one tag. A couple of observations. They mentioned there are boss battles, and the Donkey Kong K. Rool running at each other cutscene look just like that, a cutscene. So my guess is that the mysterious game mode in the game is Subspace Emissary single-player adventure mode. Come on, it has to. They're giving us everything else that only makes sense. Also, I have a feeling that a ton more fighters will have Echo Fighters. I want to say each fighter will have an Echo Fighter, but I highly doubt that, as there doesn't seem to be any more room for characters on that epic character poster. How amazing was that reveal, though? I fucking hate Sakurai so much, I want him to have my kids. Now I'm just waiting for Dixie Kong and Cranky Kong and that damn radar from Radar Scope. Meow.
What? A-time caller, what? 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 Subspace Emissary, what was he talking about there?
Oh, do you not... Okay, well, we didn't talk about this earlier, but
yeah,
you might have been tuning it out when you were originally watching this. But shortly before the K. Rool trailer, or maybe just the sheer shock of the K. Rool trailer, blasted everything out of your short-term memory.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When Sakurai, as I alluded to hours ago now, was like, first, before we go, let's take a look at the menu. And I was like, fuck yeah, the menu, here we fucking go. One of the menu options on that menu was like pixelated or blurred out.
Yeah.
And
no, that's not Subspace Emissary. Here's what I thought. This is where my mind went. It was pixelated, but you could see the colors underneath. It was green and white, and I said, "Oh, Xbox crossplay."
Oh, yeah, that's definitely it.
We'll see who's right.
No, dude. Okay. In all honesty, that would be an enormously big deal. I hadn't even considered that given the color scheme, but what I was thinking is that, Yeah, it's probably some kind of a single player adventure mode. Maybe it's not Subspace Emissary. I don't know that they'd call it that. But if it's anything other than either Xbox crossplay, which people, I mean, the Nintendo fandom isn't going to consider that to be that big of a selling point, unless maybe it also has Xbox Play Anywhere or something, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, some kind of a single player story mode. I mean, it's just not going to resonate well if it's like, oh yeah, the reveal is it's actually Smash Tour 2. Like, yeah. So I do think it's probably some sort of a single player story mode event, but I don't think that the character trailers being so beautiful and being so cinematic necessarily is evidence of that, because Smash 4 had the same sort of like very cool, very, very cinematic trailers and didn't have any sort of a story mode.
Right. Yeah, I'm not thinking Subspace Emissary. I think the time constraints that would take almost like cancel out. Like there's no way they would have the time to do that justice. But we'll see. We'll see who's right.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to feel like you know something I don't.
No, I just green and white. I'm thinking Xbox. I don't know.
That is the color scheme, yeah.
That would be crazy, and Nintendo and Microsoft, Nintendo and Xbox have been very flirty on Twitter as of late. Like they're very much like in a romantic comedy at this point. And
I mean, that being the case, Master Chief could finally be in Super Smash Brothers, where he belongs.
Oh, fuck off! Like, I know I shouldn't care at this point because I've got what I want. And we've already got Cloud and Snake, so who gives a shit? It's not Shrek or Goku or anything, but whatever. All right. Number 14.
Number 14.
Okay, Smork here again. The last time. I'd like to apologize and make an update. I just popped in my Donkey Kong Country Legend of the Crystal Coconut VHS. And in fact, it was not K. Rool who had the nipples. That was the blue guy. Crusher, I think, wore a wife beater, so you couldn't see his nipples. But I assume K. Rool has nipples underneath the armor. But then again, it still begs the question: why would he show the belly button and not the nipples? On the topic of nipples, I'm also curious why they. Notably absent is Donkey Kong's Echo Fighter Funky Kong, Diddy Kong's Echo Fighter Dixie Kong, and of course Ridley's Echo Fighter, which is yet to be announced, Mr. Pants. So if Nintendo they have those on the website, but they don't have them, they don't show them in the Direct. Let's give it a go. Let's have it a go. Also, I hope to return is the stage from Melee, the roller coaster from DKC2. That was a great stage. Love that stage. Hopefully that makes a return.
The only substantive thing I have to add to this is that on the subject of nipples, when I was a kid, first playing Donkey Kong Country, I referred to as I referred to Crusher as the boob guys, because they had the big, massive Fabio-esque man boobs.
The only substantive thing that I have to add to it is that popping in your Legend of the Crystal Coconut VHS was an excellent choice, just as it was for me in the fall of 2000, because that is renting that is precisely what brought me to DK Vine.
And I've had nothing but animosity towards that my entire life, where I guess I should be grateful. So
I wouldn't be here if not for that.
All right, I am grateful then. I
may have been the first person to ever call into the conversation via the hotline. I was definitely one of the earliest, and I told that very story.
Yeah. I forgot that because there is pre-K. Rool and Smash, and there is post-K. Rool and Smash. Everything pre-K. Rool and Smash becomes nebulous the farther we get post-K. Rool reveal and Smash. But anyway, it's good to hear. This day is full of surprises. Number 15.
Number 15?
Yeah, 15.
All right, I don't know if this is recording, but this is Gavin41 off the forum. That's my call. That was like in 2014, and that was about K. Rool and Smash Brothers, and I can't believe that day has finally came. I'm just wondering, are you guys excited for it? I mean, I haven't posted on the DK Vine forum in a long time, but I think I'm getting back into it, and I've been enjoying ukulele and everything going on with Rare and stuff like that recently. I'm just wondering, do you guys think K. Rool's going to get costumes from each of his iterations throughout the Donkey Kong games? Because they didn't show off any costumes with him. I'm wondering if he's going to get the pirate outfit or the scientist jacket, or the boxing outfit from Donkey Kong 64. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
Nope. We're getting what we're getting, but I would also perhaps look for maybe trophies of the full costumes.
Yeah, when I was first watching the trailer, to be honest, I didn't at first notice in my state of shock that was what was happening. Is that K. Rool was donning putting on the pirate hat whenever he was using the blunderbuss. And I thought, oh, that's cool and that's appropriate. He's going to have these different costumes. But as discussed earlier, I much prefer the way that they've ended up doing it. And I think it'll make it easier on color-based team battles to have the character be that color scheme so much.
Yeah, here's the thing. I actually don't want K. Rool to actually regress to any of his alternate personas, because I always felt like that in his madness, he was trying to reinvent himself. I think it would show too much sanity to actually go back into that persona, minus King, which is kind of his default setting when he actually has the crown. But to use discarded elements of those personas when fighting, that's something that K. Rool would do. So, yeah, I'm not fancying myself Captain K. Rool anymore, but I still have this blunderbuss, and I'll put on the hat. I save the hat. I've still got this backpack, this helicopter thing on my back from that time I was a scientist, man.
As we get deeper into this and we both get more and more sleep deprived, this is starting to remind me of your bachelor party episode.
Oh, better that than scrambled eggs on Chad's wedding night.
True. Very true.
but luckily, I don't think I can do impression. Hold on. I'm George W. Bush. Well, I'm Barack Obama, and I'm talking about King K. Rool in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well, Mommy, I never thought I'd see the day that the K. Rool, who's got a belly as big as a bowl full of jelly beans. Okay. Number 16. Did you know that the 16th DKU game is Mario Party 2?
I would not have been able to tell you that.
I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind.
Number 16.
Golden Belly is back. Hey, this is Sabertooth 1 billion from off of the forum. And I am very overjoyed today, for a variety of reasons, but the most prominent reason being that Smash finally revealed our favorite Kremling, finally brought him back from the depths of despair. That's right, I'm talking about Claptrap. He's finally back. You just grab the assist trophy and he comes right out and you get to look at him. I'm just kidding. You know I'm just kidding. It's King K. Rool. The king is back. King K. Rool has come aboard. And we're about to walk the plank into heaven. Anyway, I'm really happy. Basically, I woke up early to watch the direct reluctantly because I knew I would be spoiled on it anyway. And when I saw Donkey Kong's snoring or yawning face at the beginning of that trailer, I started jumping up and down, and I broke into my roommate's bedroom and I told him about it, started yelling in his face, started going into the history of K. Rool, all this kind of stuff, but he wasn't interested in it at all. Okay, but anyway, I just wanted to point out that in Smash Ultimate, they seem to be emphasizing his golden belly. Now, in previous games, he'd always had the gold belly until Payon took over and they replaced it with the more organic-looking belly. But they've never really emphasized the belly. Now, if you'll notice twice in the direct, they draw your attention. You can't help but notice that your eyes are drawn to K. Rool's stomach. Now, there's one part where they're showing his taunt, and he's slapping his belly. You know, pretty normal stuff. He's just sort of being kind of, you know, kind of a show-off, kind of a braggart. So he pats his own belly in pride. It's pretty normal. But there's also, if you notice, what looks like his down B. It looks to be a counter, wherein an opponent attacks the golden belly, and then the golden belly bounces back at the opponent. Now, what do you suppose they got the inspiration for this? Because before, I don't recall in any of Rare or Paeon's games that K. Rool used his belly for this. I could see him doing that. But I don't remember that. And I think it's a cool move. I think it's a cool idea. But I was wondering if you have any idea from what they could have taken inspiration for this. Maybe I'm forgetting something from Jungle Climber or Mario Super Sluggers where K. Rool did like a belly dance or something. I never played those games much, but yeah, I'm really happy right now.
You know how I said all the Smash trailers, the newcomer trailers, are being framed this time around as like horror movies? I feel like as this episode goes on, it becomes our own horror movie, but rather than traditional horror, it's about us being stuck in this never-ending cycle of talking about a fat crocodile's stomach.
I was so relieved when he revealed that he was talking about the game mechanic of his down B and not going to ask about his belly button again. I was breath of fresh air right there. I'll take what I can get at this point.
Yeah. I think they're utilizing his belly because he's fat, and like he did belly flops in Donkey Kong Land, so I think they took that and said, well, what if he does the thing like
I don't think it's like being inspired by anything other than that, other than perhaps the fact that a lot of the sort of latter-day Smash Brothers newcomers tend to have some sort of a riposte move as their down B.
Right.
But I think it makes sense for K. Rool. I mean, he, in the original games, like if you rolled into his chest, it's like you were gonna take damage, so...
Sure. And I think also the other fat Kremling clumps, the clumps, you roll into their belly and you'd bounce off if you were Diddy Kong, so I think maybe there was some inspiration from Clump there. By the way, Godzilla Guy 92, Andre, in the live stream chat is very disappointed that I didn't do Nixon. So it's been a while since and this was always more Chad's thing. He played Richard Nixon in our TV show. So hold on, let me see if I'm talking about K. Rool. He reminds me of Kissinger. Oh, okay, I can't do it. All right, fuck it. 17.
Your TV show is actually really enjoyable to watch. Me and Chad binged a few episodes of it a few months back.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I won't say it's always good, but it gives me a lot to think about.
Just like this show. All right. Number 17.
Geek Conversation. Ridley here, oh boy. What did I tell you? What did I fucking tell you? 2 months ago, K. Rool Super Smash just said, oh, fuck. Crazy shit. I don't even know if I'm alive. I mean, I died in Super Metroid, and then I was a Furby clone, and then the next clone is Triangle taking place after Fusion of what? Anyway, oh God, there's so much excitement. Not even just here. I mean, I would have figured, Carmen Belmont would have been the thing. It was so awesome, all the Castlevania stuff, but, all the K. Rool trailers have, 1.5 times the views of the Castlevania stuff. It's fucking crazy. Oh man. Okay, just what a day in history. Kyle, just I can't even find the words. Alright, Josh, how about this time you keep geeking. You deserve it. Thomas and any of the Kremlin campaigners out there, I honestly think that you guys are as much to think for this as Sakurai is. And Chad, I know you're with us today in spirit. Oh God. Alright, that'll be enough for me. Ridley out, goodbye.
What?
Oh, dearly departed Chad McKenna, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that reveal trailer. What has happened? Like, I'm so tired right now, Josh, and I don't really... Was that just an entire call as Ridley?
I missed the very beginning of it. I thought that they might have been trying to do like the little gray squirrel character from off of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, see, I thought it was Ridley as a Depression era Paperboy.
Yeah, okay, that may have been it.
Right. But again, I'm very tired right now. But I did like how Paperboy Ridley really got emotional at the end there and started like openly weeping. That was all over the place though. Paperboy would be a good Smash Brothers stage. Remember Paperboy for the Nintendo Entertainment System? Paperboy?
Oh yeah. Paperboy would be a good new character for Smash.
Paperboy.
All of his specials would be throwing a newspaper.
But then he runs out of ammo because the print industry is dying.
Oh yeah, that one. Reimagining like a modern Paperboy for the modern era, you'd have to reach for that. They would need to get their best guys on that.
And then he throws the paper or like the stoop of like this old man watching Fox News, and he runs out saying "Fake news," and he chases them down the street.
It can be like a post-apocalyptic like feeling, even though it's just a modern day setting, just because of the state of the newspaper industry.
Right. Call number 18.
I have a degree in journalism, I know.
Yeah, and you're doing this with me at 11:43 p.m. How's that working out for you, that degree? All right.
Number 18.
18!
Still no Dixie. 0 out of 10. Try again, Sakurai.
Yeah, literally unplayable. I know, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, trash. This game is trash, Josh. 19.
I believe. Okay, 19.
I just.
Okay, so this is Sabretooth again, from off of On Around by the DK Vine forum, and I talked a little too long last time, so I'm sending a second call. This one will be real quick. I just want to point out that we did in fact get an anime Pretty Boy Sword anime guide today. We did, but notice how no one's talking about him? That's because everyone just wants to play as the king, baby. The king is back. No one cares about... Okay, but that's all I wanted to point out, is that it's like, for once, we got an anime sword boy and he wasn't the main focus. They didn't roll out the red carpet for him. Instead, it was for the king. Anyway, peace.
Why are we just making, like, animal noises at the end of these calls now? We had the meow, and we went, I'm fully expecting to get a moo, and an oink oink, and just the whole Old MacDonald menagerie.
So I think the reveal of Crom and the fact that nobody really, like, minds is another feather in the cap of what a good concept Echo Fighters are.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, Echo Fighters are just reframing what was already there, but in a more palatable way. It's not that, oh, this is taking away resources from this. It's, yeah, this isn't as big of a deal, but get excited if you're a fan of it. But if you're not, whatever.
And I do get a kick out of the whole deal that in Smash 4, Crom not being included was the joke. And he even said something to the effect of, oh, maybe next time. And here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though we have, 17 Fire Emblem characters, I don't care. I really don't care anymore. Like, I didn't care that they revealed Chrom before the K. Rool announcement. It was just like, Fire Emblem, whatever. I don't care because this game is going to be sweet because I played it. It was so much fun and it's doing everything I wanted to do. And then holy shit, K. Rool. But even before then, I'm over it, and I'm over the whole too many swordsmen, too many anime swordsmen in this game. Whatever.
Yeah, and that's a really astute point, is that the whole Echo Fighter concept reframes it. Because, they said in Smash 4, it's not like Dr. Mario, our Dark Pit, was taking away a roster spot from someone else. They would have either been there and been, clone characters, or there just wouldn't have been anything there at all. And by making them Echo Fighters, it really seems to have made things a lot more harmonious. You don't hear people saying, oh, they could have given us, oh god, who's somebody else that people, they could have given us Gray Fox, but instead we get Chrom?
Right.
You're not really hearing that.
Well, and I think that just goes to show how bad some of the PR rollout for Smash 4 was, and how just on point they are with everything for this game. So, yep. Number 20. 20 calls. We're on 20 calls. 20.
This is the penultimate call.
Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. Anytime anyone gets out of Smash, this happens. Should have thought of it earlier, but King K. Rool 34. I don't know if I'm ready for this. My penis is low.
Rule 34. King K. Rool 34. What?
Well, Hyle, it's been an honor to be on once again. I've enjoyed being a part of the DK Vine community for all these years, but there comes a point when you have to hit that old dusty trail, and I think I've reached that.
I was expecting you to say Dusty Roads. There's already K. Rool erotica out there. I've shamefully stumbled across tons of it while searching for images. No, I wasn't looking. Look, it's all vor related. Okay, it's all him eating people. So it's out there. Go nuts, man. Go nuts.
No, seriously, I'm a Sonic fan. Nothing's gonna surprise me.
Yeah, I know. You probably have it worse than any of us.
Oh God.
21. We're legal drinking age when it comes to these calls. And I could use one right now, so here we go. This is the last call. Like I said, we got more during the course of this episode. We will take those on the upcoming episode that I'm going to do with the Kremlin campaigners. But for now, this is it. This is it, baby. Like Michael Jackson in his last attempted concert before he died. But he died. We're not going to die, but this is it. What am I talking about? I'm going to play the call. Hit play.
Hit play.
Hey there, guys. I know that this call is coming in at the 11th hour, but I hope it finds you well. Oh my goodness. King K. Rool, he's back. And man, just the trailer, everything about it was just so good, and just everything about it was just like pleasing the fans, and just from the setup to how DK and Diddy were acting to how K. Rool was, he was like maniacal and insane, and seeing all the other reactions online, the people just so excited about his grand return. Oh, this is like one of the happiest days in recent history. In recent memory, it's a historic day for Smash. It's a historic day for Donkey Kong fans. It's a historic day, just all around. I don't even care. I don't even care if we get Baja Blast or not. The king is back. The king is back, man. Who saw this coming? I never saw this coming. I didn't think about this when I was watching the direct. I wasn't thinking, maybe K. Rool will show up. But dude, he's back, and he's here to stay. No matter what happens, the ultimate dream has been achieved, and we can all finally rest easy. Oh, I hope you guys are just as happy as I am. Later.
Yes, I think we are. Of course, you called in with a lot more energy than we have at the current point in time. But yes, I think suffice to say we are just as happy. And
dude, I'm actually really glad that you called in at the 11th hour, because after 37 consecutive hours of podcasting, we are a little shot, and I think that was the perfect call number 21. I think that was the perfect way to end off this segment.
Yes,
it brought a smile to my face.
One point that hasn't been brought up in all the discussions about nipples and belly buttons and peni, that is the way they revealed it, I think was perfect for us. Getting Simon Belmont out of the way, having that leak, whether it be on purpose or accidental, knowing that was coming, having it be what the trailer or the direct led with that trailer, I think it just put the idea out of our mind that it was coming and that we were going to get it, or that it was a possibility. And it took me off guard completely. Like, I wasn't braced for it. I wasn't looking for clues for it. So when it happened, it hit me so hard, so fast, that I'm glad we had the ending trailer, the stinger trailer, and it wasn't what the director was led with.
And for that matter, it wasn't like, look, I mean, like we started off talking about, I'm really, really happy for Castlevania fans, but I'm also really happy that it wasn't this that got leaked. I'm really happy that we all got the opportunity to be surprised by this.
Yeah, this is basically, it worked out perfectly for Donkey Kong fans and K. Rool fans. So I wouldn't change anything about it, except maybe I would have made it later in the day. But then we wouldn't have been able to do damn near 4 hours of podcasting on the subject. So maybe everything did work out perfectly. So real quick, Josh, before we wrap this up and wrap up K. Rool discussion for now, because obviously this is going to be a major point of discussion for the rest of the year and then some. I have to address this. So as you know, I do have an informal source within Nintendo. Call him Dave Throat. And he or she or it or nebulous shadow creature first reached out to us at E3 2015 when we were out at E3 for the first time, and has since made contact every now and again. Did not get anything from Dave Throat about K. Rool and Smash, so I was completely taken aback by this, but I did get contacted by Dave Throat today. And basically, just a brief little, I guess, summary of how this came to be. K. Rool and Smash. And do you want to hear this? I'm not going to read it verbatim, but basically,
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So, regardless of the ballot, the Smash ballot back in 2014, K. Rool was never going to be in the game then. They basically were using a Smash ballot as basically to give the fans to feel like they had some input to gauge what the fans actually wanted, but actually they were more predictive about what they thought the fans wanted. So things like Bayonetta were already in the works before the Smash ballot was finalized. And so that's why they had to do such loose justification with Bayonetta's reveal and say, oh, she was near the top of the list in Europe or somewhere. I don't know. They were completely taken aback by the amount of support K. Rool got. Completely blew them away. They had no idea that the character had any popularity. And that's why we got the Mii costume in Super Smash Bros. Wii, before Wii U and 3DS. That was more of a last minute 11th hour consolation prize as a little nod saying, K. Rool, we had no idea. This is the best we can give you right now. There you go. But that's why we got K. Rool in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It was the Kremlin campaigners, it was the fans, it was everybody listening to this that filled out that goddamn ballot who made campaign and petition and made yourself vocally heard, it was because of you. And so I think that's pretty awesome just to get that little insight and to, I don't know, it makes me feel good as a fan of this shit to know that we can make a difference. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that. And also that there have been other parties within Nintendo that have wanted to bring K. Rool back before this, but people have shut them down before this point. And apparently now that is going to change.
Yeah, that's really, really fantastic, and that's really gratifying. And it, given the timing, it almost makes me wonder if that wasn't something of a wake-up call for, like, Nintendo in general, to that Donkey Kong deserved to be its own thing, totally separate from Mario.
It might have played a part. I don't have it, and that would just be me speculating and not going off what was just leaked to me. But yeah.
But regardless, either way, the fact that this unexpected outpouring of support was the direct line that got us here now, that is really fantastic.
And I mean, I think you're seeing that with other characters like Ridley, obviously, but I think for K. Rool, it was kind of an eternal shock for them. And like we saw with, Returns, Donkey Kong Country Returns, well, do you have to have crocodiles, like there has been a level of disrespect even for those who have liked the series. And I think knowing that things are changing behind the scenes at Nintendo, and that not only are there fans of this shit, but they are also fully aware that there is a very, very vibrant fan community for Donkey Kong, and maybe we haven't always done the best job at making ourselves known to Nintendo in any diplomatic fashion. Yeah, it's I mean, God, I really want to talk to like Thomas Freestad and the Kremlin campaigners now, because that's just completely awesome. I haven't like even reached out to them today because it's just been such a hectic day, but
I mean, how cool must this be for them? As awesome as it is for us, like this has been like this is a flag that they took up years ago, and now here we are.
Right? Yeah. I mean, see, this is why I'm always saying, like, you gotta vote, people. Like you can't just sit at home and complain about the system. Be the change you want to be. It's remarkable. So, Josh, thank you for going on this journey with me. I am getting so fucking punch drunk right. You know when you're so tired that you start to like almost like giggle like internally. Like I feel like I'm getting the giggles now. So that's how like gone I am. But I don't even have anything witty to say, like a penis joke, the bodily fluids. So, like, how am I supposed to end this?
The bullet point that we're on is final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
So, final thoughts.
Well, we have seen K. Rool without his belly plate. He doesn't seem to have any visible nipples. That doesn't mean he doesn't have nipples. It's just that they're not very puffy nipples.
Dude, I know you're really tired, and I know you're really sleep deprived, and of course you are. We just hit midnight in the real-time recording of this.
Oh my god!
Hyle, listen to me. Focus.
Yes.
King K. Rool is back and is a playable character in Super Smash Bros. What more needs to be said?
It just sounds ridiculous.
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.